Chapter 275. There were some winter clothes that the young miss brought from home. She didn't need them for the time being, so she put them in the closet of the guest room. Shen Jingxian was hiding inside before. When Xiaofan squeezed in, the space inside was obviously smaller except for the clothes. The two of them were directly stuck together. You. Shen Jingxuan's face was a little red, but Xiaofan couldn't see it here. Xiaofan only felt that Goddess Shen's heartbeat was a little faster. Could it be that Goddess Shen was really moved? As if to confirm this guess, Xiaofan reached out and gently hugged Shen Jingxian. This made Shen Jingxuan's whole body stiffen. She stood in the closet and didn't dare to move. She glared at Xiaofan with some embarrassment, but she found that the closet door had been closed. It was dark inside, and she couldn't see anything. It's an accident. I didn't know you were here, Xiaofan said in a low voice. Feeling the softness in his arms, Xiaofan almost thought that this was a scene from a dream. To be honest, at the moment when he was kicked out of the Xiao family, Xiaofan thought that he was finished. His future life would definitely be full of bleakness. But now, Xiaofan found that this was simply the beginning of a colorful life. Not only did he gain the friendship of many big shots, but his relationship with Goddess Shen also became ambiguous. Only a ghost would believe it. Shen Jingxian said angrily, "You must have come here on purpose." "How is that possible?" "I have been serving the young miss downstairs to wash her hair," said Xiaofan. "Aren't you very perceptive? You can even feel the big pit. Can't you feel where I am?" Shen Jingxian snorted. Xiaofan laughed twice. Shen Jingxian wasn't stupid. "Xiaofan, I thought about it carefully before. We can't do this. It's really not good." Shen Jingxuan's voice was a little trembling. "You and Cheng Menjing are a couple. We are at her house, and we still do this. I can't live with my conscience. It seems that I have done something wrong to her. Me and her. Is it still possible?" Xiaofan sighed and laughed at himself. The Cheng family wanted to kill him. How could they let Cheng Menjing marry him? "I think, it's still possible, as long as the Cheng family knows your strength." Shen Jingxian said, "As long as you show your strength to Grandpa Cheng, then the Cheng family will definitely put the marriage on the agenda again." "What about you?" Xiaofan asked. Even if I don't marry Chen Jinpeng, my family doesn't know how to arrange it. The Shen family and the Cheng family are different. The Cheng family is limited to Songning City, but the Shen family." Shen Jingxian didn't continue after she said that. She just sighed softly. "I can't reveal my strength for now. There are too many people who want to kill me, and I don't know where they came from. I haven't investigated my father's matter clearly. If I reveal my strength, everyone will be on guard against me, and the truth will be quickly covered up." Xiaofan shook his head. "It's fine if I don't have the strength, but I do. I want to find out what happened to my father." As Xiaofan spoke, he couldn't help but hug Shen Jingxian even tighter. Shen Jingxuan's entire body was in his arms. Shen Jingxian moaned, and her whole body went limp in Xiaofan's arms. Her breathing was a little rushed. She wanted to push Xiaofan away, but she didn't have any strength at all. This moan made Xiaofan inevitably have a reaction. Originally, with the goddess in his arms, Xiaofan had restrained himself, but now, Xiaofan couldn't restrain himself. Shen Jingxian felt that there seemed to be something hard pressing against her, which made her slightly stunned. She immediately understood what it was, and suddenly became angry. "Xiaofan, do you really think we are good like this? I don't know. I just like you." Xiaofan took a deep breath and said, "Maybe, it's a kind of obsession. In the past, I could only look up to you, but now, I can hold you in my arms, so I don't want to give up." "Ah." Shen Jingxian sighed faintly. She closed her eyes and didn't think about the future and the troubles of the family. In fact, at this moment, she also enjoyed it very much. She felt very warm. She wanted time to stop here. She just wanted to be held by Xiao Chen until the end of time. It was like a song, when the mountain has no edges, when the river no longer flows, when time stops, when the day and night are not separated, when everything in the world turns into nothingness. I still can't break up with you. I can't break up with you. Your gentleness is the greatest protection in my life. Sometimes, Shen Jingxian also thought about leaving the family, but could she really leave? It was a joke to say that she ran away from home. With the strength of the Shen family, it was very easy to find her. Not to mention her, even if the Tang family, which was one level lower than the Shen family, wanted her to go back, she had to go back. Listening to Xiao Chen's words, Shen Jingshuan's heart softened at this moment. She was a kind person, and she also liked the feeling of being with Xiao Chen. So, she wanted to indulge herself, just for a while. After a while, when they got out of the closet, they would still be the same as before. What happened here, just like the time on the island, became a beautiful memory. Xiao Chen, do you know? Although I didn't make sarcastic remarks to you in the past, to be honest, I never thought too much of you. Shen Jingxian hesitated and said. She thought that since she and Xiao Chen were like this, she should confess her thoughts to Xiao Chen. She couldn't lie to him. Not only you, but also Miss Xiao. She didn't care about me when she saw me before. Xiao Chen smiled calmly. To be honest, Xiao Chen used to think that he was an ignorant and incompetent playboy. This was also an illusion that Xiao Chen deliberately created, and he didn't refute Chao Yuliang's rumors at all. The more stupid he was, the less threatening he was, the safer the Xiao family would be. Otherwise, the Xiao family was the weakest among the four big families, and it would definitely be the stepping stone for other families to rise. Xiao Chen knew that he was useless, so he created the impression that the Xiao family was dying, and when Xiaofan got old, the Xiao family would be finished. However, he didn't expect that even so, someone still couldn't wait to take action against the Xiao family. His father was missing, and he was also driven out of the Xiao family. This was the rhythm of making the Xiao family have no descendants. It was simply a plan to kill the family, and it couldn't be said that it wasn't sinister. Therefore, when Shen Jingxian didn't see him before she left, Xiao Chen already felt that Shen Jingxian was too kind. Otherwise, with his previous notoriety, who would be willing to have more contact with him? Menjing's heart is actually very good. She always quietly pays attention to you, and we often discuss about you. Sometimes, she seems to be really troubled. If she marries a playboy like you in the future, what will her life be like? She also hopes that you can improve yourself, and hope that you can become the leader of the younger generation that everyone praises, but you let her down again and again. I am worried for you. Shen Jingxian couldn't help but smile when she said this. If Menjing knew your true side, she might have already fallen in love with you, and she wouldn't have let the Cheng family break off the engagement. Damn, I didn't do it on purpose. The Xiao family is too dangerous, Xiao Chen said. I know. That's even more difficult. Originally, I thought that Chao Yuliang could hide his strength as a martial artist at the peak of Stage 3 inner force for so long, and I didn't expect that you actually. Shen Jingxian shook her head. However, if you were so outstanding from the beginning, maybe I wouldn't have any thoughts about you, because after all, you are Menjing's fiancé, but now. Sigh. Xiao Chen hugged Shen Jingxian tightly. He hesitated for a moment, and then said firmly, don't agree to Chen Jinpeng's request just yet. Try to delay your relationship as much as possible. Wait for the day when I can walk into the Shen family with dignity and treat me as a distinguished guest. Shen Jingxian also began to respond to Xiao Chen, hugging him with both hands. Shen Jingxian couldn't understand why she suddenly wanted to be with Xiao Chen so much. Did falling in love with someone really only happen in a moment? Didn't the children of big families develop feelings after a long time? Shen Jingxian responded inaudibly, "I'll try my best. If I can't delay it, I'll kill him. This guy is just a little brother." Not only did he become a traitor, but he also stole the boss's woman and turned to the enemy. "I've wanted to kill him for a long time," Xiao Chen said. "It's you who stole his fiancée." Shen Jingxian didn't know whether to laugh or cry. "I liked you first, and he always knew it. Then, he wanted to find the Shen family for a marriage alliance. Isn't he making things difficult for me?" Xiao Chen said. "That works too." Shen Jingxian was stunned. "I don't know if the Chen family is involved, but the Chen family and I are already at each other's throats." Xiao Chen said, "The Chao family, the Chen family, the Lu family, the Cheng family, the Sun family, the Yu family. I found out that I have a lot of enemies now." Shen Jingxian was also a little depressed. Why did Xiao Chen have so many enemies? However, with so many strong enemies, he was still alive and well. It was really amazing. What is the Sun family? Sun family? Xiao Chen was stunned and then he reacted. He had just said the Sun family, but he and Shen Jingxian now had a feeling of being connected. He didn't want to hide anything from her. Didn't a few people from the Sun family die? "I killed them all." "What?" Shen Jingxian naturally heard about the Sun family in the city. The way the Sun family died was very inelegant. At that time, she thought that the Sun family had done something wicked. Otherwise, how could they all die like this? But now after listening to Xiao Chen's words, she understood that the Sun family was killed by Xiao Chen. This made Shen Jingxian a little speechless. This Xiao Chen is really restless. However, what shocked her even more was that the Sun family was rising before. The speed of their rise was so fast that his father, Shen Zhenghao, wanted to rope them in. Who would have thought that they were crippled by Xiao Chen alone? Now they had become a declining family, and they had to rely on the Xiao family to survive. Shen Jingxian didn't know what to say. What kind of man did I like? If he said that he killed Chen Jinpeng's family, it was really possible. Chapter 276. By the way, didn't the Sun family seek refuge with the Xiao family? Shen Jingxian was a little confused. Seek refuge with the Xiao family? Xiao Chen was stunned. He didn't know this because he didn't have as many information channels as the children of the aristocratic families. What happened? You don't know? Shen Jingxian told Xiao Chen what she knew. I don't know, but it seems that the Sun family is probably crippled and unable to recover. They sought a declining family like the Xiao family to cooperate with them. Otherwise, who would look up to them? Xiao Chen shook his head and didn't ask more. Anyway, the Sun family didn't know who killed his family members. It was mutually beneficial for him to cooperate with the Xiao family. It was good to let the Xiao family take advantage of them. Well, I think so too. Huh? Why does it sound like you are not very optimistic about the Xiao family? Shen Jingxian was a little confused. Me? Xiao Chen smiled bitterly. To be honest, his feelings for the Xiao family were very special. Until now, his sense of belonging was still very strong. But, the Xiao family didn't accept him and drove him out. He could only stand on the side of the Xiao family and didn't consider himself as the Xiao family anymore. Didn't I get driven out? Not acting? Shen Jingxian was a little confused. What acting? You mean, I'm acting with the Xiao family? Xiao Chen understood what Shen Jingxian meant. Yes. In fact, with your strength, the Xiao family doesn't need to listen to the Cheng family at all. Shen Jingxian said. They don't know. Xiao Chen shook his head and was a little confused. Could he go back to the Xiao family? Not for the time being. He would think about it after he found out who was behind the scenes against him. Oh. Shen Jingxian nodded. She didn't understand Xiao Chen's approach, but she didn't ask much. She suddenly thought of something. By the way, what are you going to do, Tang Tang? You and her also said the same thing, right? Just like what you promised me just now. Shen Jingshuan's question suddenly made Xiaochen silent. After a while, he said, Tang Tang is a very good girl. She helped me when I was in the most difficult time. It can be said that without her, I wouldn't be who I am now. Shen Jingxian was stunned. She didn't understand the meaning, but she didn't ask any more questions. It seemed that Xiao family's position was not lower than her. She was. Then. What are you going to do? I don't know. She and I have never really confessed to each other. And now, we can't do it again. Xiao Chen sighed. Let's wait and see. But I won't let you Xiaochuan go to the hospital. Shen Jingxian didn't say anything more. Xiao Chen was a domineering person. She had already experienced it. Yu Xiaochuan went back on his words. Would Xiao Chen let him go? It was impossible to think about it, however, Xiao Chen was only one person. It was very difficult for him to suppress the Yu family, let alone walk into the Shen family. This guy had always liked her, but he fell in love with Tang Tang halfway. Shen Jingxian was a little jealous. She had never thought that there would be a day where she could be jealous. The marriage between the children of big families was just like that. It was ridiculous to expect the husband to be faithful to his wife. The ancient martial arts families kept the ancient customs. It was normal to have 3 wives and 4 concubines. However, that was the case when Shen Jingxian didn't care about Chen Jinpeng. Once she cared about him, everyone would be jealous. However, jealousy was one thing, and she didn't show it. Shen Jingxian had the impulse to ask Xiao Chen, do you like me or Tang Tang more? But she held back. While she was thinking, suddenly, the sound of the door being opened came from outside. Shen Jingshuan's whole body tightened. Was someone coming? Was it Cheng Menjing and Jean Beibei? She wanted to push Xiao Chen away, but the space in the closet was small. Besides, her whole body was soft, and she couldn't move at all. However, Xiao Chen patted her back gently, telling her not to worry. But he patted Shen Jingshuan's bra strap, which made her feel a little weird. She had never thought that a boy would touch this kind of thing. But when the moment came, everything seemed to be reasonable. Shen Jingxian didn't resist. She just felt a little nervous. But the next moment, she became even more nervous. Because she heard a click, the closet door was opened, and she saw Jean Beibei standing at the door of the closet. I found you. Come out. Jean Beibei shouted. Shen Jingxian was stunned. She was still hugging Xiao Chen at this moment. How could Jean Beibei see them? She felt that she had been caught in the act. She was scared to death. At this moment, she didn't know how to face Cheng Menjing in the future. If she faced Xiao Chen, Shen Jingxian wanted to explain, but she found, to her surprise, that her mouth was blocked. It was Xiao Chen's mouth. Shen Jingxian widened her eyes and looked at Xiao Chen in disbelief. Kissing in front of Jean Beibei? Although they had kissed in the sea before, and Shen Jingxian didn't particularly reject it, wasn't it courting death to do it in front of Jean Beibei? Shen Jingxian was very angry. If you are courting death, don't drag me into it. Are you trying to ruin the relationship between me and Cheng Menjing? What are you doing? Isn't it better to do it secretly? Do you have to make it public? Besides, don't you want to hide your strength? Shen Jingxian wanted to push Xiao Chen away, but she found that she couldn't move him at all. Huh? There's nothing here? Jean Beibei said confusedly. Then, she closed the door of the closet. After a while, she walked out of the room. Woo! Shen Jingxian pushed Xiao Chen again, and Xiao Chen let go of her this time. It was not good to push one's luck. Xiao Chen also understood that. What are you doing? How do you want me to die? Shen Jingxian was so angry that her chest was heaving. However, it was quite comfortable to press against Xiao Chen's body. She didn't see it, did she? Xiao Chen said with an indifferent smile. She didn't see it? She pretended not to see it to save face for us. Otherwise, do you really think she is blind? Shen Jingxian said angrily. She really didn't see it. Xiao Chen said, I set up an illusion similar to a camouflage. So, what Beibei saw was the clothes, not us. Shen Jingxian looked at Xiao Chen in disbelief. Really? Do you remember that the license of Chen Jinpeng's BMW X5 is written with Jean Beibei's name? Xiao Chen asked. That was also a camouflage you used? Shen Jingxian was stunned and believed him a little. Yes. And that Li Shanpao, why did he die? Because what he saw was an illusion, so he died. Xiao Chen nodded. You scared me to death. Why didn't you tell me earlier? Shen Jingxian immediately heaved a sigh of relief. She lay on Xiao Chen's body weakly and rested her chin on Xiao Chen's shoulder. She said weakly, at that moment, I thought I was finished. Everything was finished. Menjing would definitely not be with me anymore, hee. Xiao Chen patted Shen Jingxian. I'm not a fool. I've thought about this long ago. Otherwise, I wouldn't have dared to come in to look for you. But what's up with this illusion? It doesn't seem to be the ability of a warrior. Xiao Chen, are you a warrior or not? Shen Jingxian suddenly had some doubts. Yes and no. Actually, in layman's terms, you can regard me as a superpower user or a demonic cultivator because I have the characteristics of a warrior, a demonic cultivator, and a superpower user, Xiao Chen said. Gosh, I found a man casually, and he's still a full-time master? Shen Jingxian was a little surprised. If it was really like what Xiao Chen said, then she was really full of confidence in Xiao Chen's future. Because the demonic cultivator and the martial cultivator each had their strengths. Xiao Chen could merge them together, which made up for their respective shortcomings. Especially the legendary superpower user, it made Shen Jingxian feel that he was not simple. You admit that I am your man? Xiao Chen asked with a smile. It depends on your performance. Shen Jingxian lowered her head. Then, let's kiss again. Xiao Chen said. No, let's go out quickly. What if Menjing comes later? Shen Jingxian said as she pushed the closet door and went out. Xiao Chen had no choice but to follow her out. However, as soon as they went out and closed the closet door, they heard footsteps coming from outside again. Shen Jingxian hurried to tidy up the corner of her clothes to make herself look normal, because there was no place to hide now. She didn't know whether Xiao Chen could still use the illusion camouflage under such strong light. Cousin Menjing, I've searched the guest room. There's no one there. Jean Beibei's voice came from the door. Then where are they hiding? We didn't find them after looking around. You must have not searched carefully enough. Let me search again. Cheng Menjing said as she pushed the door open. How is it possible? Beibei searched carefully. Jean Beibei mumbled as she followed Cheng Menjing. Cousin-in-law, Sister Jingxian, why are you here? Humph. What do you think? I told you that you didn't search carefully enough. The two of them are standing right in the room, and they didn't even hide. How can you say that you didn't find them? Cheng Menjing glared at Jean Beibei. Hey, are you biased towards Xiao Chen and deliberately going easy on them? That's not right. There was no one here before. Beibei even checked the closet. Jean Beibei, however, was confused. Cousin-in-law, have you been here all the time? Oh, no. She and I went to Yi Xiaoya's room, but Yi Xiaoya drove us out after staying there for a while. So, we hid in a random guest room, Xiao Chen said. Oh, I see. No wonder. Jean Bebe was enlightened. Then, she said to Qing Menjing, "Cousin Menjing, look, it's not that I didn't search carefully enough. They came later. Alright. You even have a transfer function. It's really hard for us to find them." Cheng Menjing complained. "Now, it's Bebe and my turn to hide. Why don't you go downstairs and wait for us?" "Okay." Xiao Chen said and walked out of the room first. Shen Jingxian followed him and secretly heaved a sigh of relief. Chapter 277. The two of them went downstairs. Shen Jingxian followed them and whispered, "Who is Yi Xiaoya?" "She's a tenant here. Didn't Menjing tell you?" Xiao Chen said as they walked. "No." Shen Jingxian shook her head. "Is she a beauty?" Shen Jingxian was stunned when she asked this question. Why did she ask this? It seemed that she was spying on Xiao Chen. "Yes, but she's cold. She doesn't get along with eldest miss, but she suffered a few losses in Jean Bebe's hands," Xiao Chen explained. "I guess you'll see her in a while." "I see." Shen Jingxian just asked casually. She didn't pay much attention to it. The two of them went downstairs and waited in the living room. Before long, footsteps came from the stairs again. Xiao Chen looked up and found it was Yi Xiaoya. So he said to Shen Jingxian, "It's her." "Oh." Shen Jingxian glanced at Yi Xiaoya and found Yi Xiaoya was also looking at her. "Xiao Chen, is she your girlfriend?" Yi Xiaoya glanced at Shen Jingxian and asked. "Oh, eldest Miss's good friend. She's here as a guest," Xiao Chen said. Yi Xiaoya nodded and ignored Shen Jingxian. She came to the kitchen and saw so many fresh ingredients. So she asked, "Xiao Chen, can you give me some of these ingredients?" "Sure. Take whatever you want." Xiao Chen didn't care. Anyway, he bought a lot, and they couldn't finish it all. If Yi Xiaoya wanted it, he could give it to her. Yi Xiaoya took a small portion and cooked some noodles for herself. Then, she stir-fried a side dish and sat in the dining room, wolfing down the food. "Xiao Chen. Why does she look like a reincarnated hungry ghost?" Shen Jingxian was stunned. "I don't know. Maybe she ate too much instant noodles," Xiao Chen said. "Xiao Chen, where did you buy these ingredients?" Yi Xiaoya was not a reincarnated hungry ghost, but the ingredients were so delicious that she wanted to have a second bite. So she wolfed down the food. "Oh." Xiao Chen was slightly stunned, and then he smiled bitterly. He finally understood the reason why Yi Xiaoya wolfed down the food. It turned out to be because of his ingredients. When Xiao Chen washed the vegetables, he injected his primordial energy into them. Later, Yi Xiaoya asked him for it, so he forgot about it. As a result, Yi Xiaoya felt that it was extremely delicious. "It's at the farm shop at the entrance of the villa." "Really?" Yi Xiaoya was a little puzzled. Could it be that it's all green farming? The taste is really good. Maybe. Xiao Chen didn't dare to say anything more. Yi Xiaoya finished eating quickly. She was a little unsatisfied, but it wasn't good to eat more. She cleaned up the dishes and went upstairs. "It really feels cold." Shen Jingxian said, "Xiao Chen, can we go find someone?" "Let's go." Xiao Chen stood up and went upstairs slowly. "You know where they are hiding, right?" Shen Jingxian suddenly asked. "Oh, yes." Xiao Chen nodded. "One is hidden on the rooftop of the villa, and the other is hanging on the air conditioner outside the villa's protective window. Let's not look there. Let's just shout in the corridor first. We will look for them later." Pfft. Shen Jingxian couldn't help but cover her mouth and laugh. "It's really boring to play hide-and-seek with you. If I knew in advance, I wouldn't want to look for them." "Who asked you to ask me?" Xiao Chen shrugged innocently. "You're still in the right." Shen Jingxian kicked Xiao Chen from behind, but it was no different from tickling him. It made Xiao Chen's mind shake. What should we do? Xiao Chen said. I don't care. I'm bored. You can play with me later. It's more interesting. Shen Jingxian actually acted coquettishly. Okay, then we will play whatever you want to play. Cupboard passion is fine too, said Xiao Chen. Go to hell. Shen Jingxian kicked Xiao Chen again, but this time, she was caught by Xiao Chen's body. Yeah. Shen Jingxian exclaimed, and the bottom of her skirt was exposed. What are you doing? Put it down. Someone saw it. Hee. Xiao Chen didn't go too far. He also knew that some things should be done in moderation. Otherwise, it would be counterproductive. The two went upstairs together, and then pretended to shout in the villa for a long time, but they didn't see anyone. Not here? Xiao Chen said loudly. Not here either. Shen Jingxian tried hard to hold back her laughter and cooperated with Xiao Chen. Really? Where are they hiding? Xiao Chen said. Have you looked everywhere? Yeah. Where else is this villa? Shen Jingxian asked. There's a balcony on the top of the roof. They won't go there, will they? Xiao Chen said after thinking for a while. Then let's go and have a look. Shen Jingxian said. Okay. Xiao Chen nodded and went upstairs to the balcony with Shen Jingxian. In the room, Jean Bebe, who was standing outside the air conditioner with the protective window open, grinned. The position she chose was the best. Xiao Chen and Shen Jingxian couldn't find them. If they couldn't find them later, she would win. Shen Jingxian and Xiao Chen's voices were very loud, so Jean Bebe could naturally hear them. The two pushed open the door of the balcony and saw Cheng Menjing basking in the sun and enjoying the scenery. In fact, the balcony was a large platform with no shelter. Cheng Menjing had nowhere to hide. Since she was found, she simply stood up and said, Jingxian, Xiao Chen, you're here. You're really good at hiding. We searched for you several times but didn't find you. Shen Jingxian ran over, hugged Cheng Menjing, and lay on Cheng Menjing. My legs are sore. Then sit down and have a rest. Cheng Menjing pulled Shen Jingxian to sit down and said, Bebe, have you found her? No, she's even harder to find than you, Shen Jingxian said. Alright, then let's go and find her together. According to the rules of the game, the person who was found had to join the search. Let's go. Bebe will win if we don't find her for half an hour. Shen Jingxian nodded. Therefore, the three of them walked out of the balcony and went downstairs. The third floor was an attic apart from the balcony. There was nothing else leading to the balcony. It was impossible for anyone to be hiding here. The search was still focused on the second floor. Cheng Menjing said, Is Bebe going to another room like you? Did she sneak into the room that you searched? That's not possible. When I entered the room, Xiao Chen was in the corridor. If Bebe came out, she would see him immediately, Shen Jingxian said. That's really strange. Let's search in every room carefully. Have you searched behind the curtains? Cheng Menjing asked. The curtains are attached to the wall, and no one can stand behind them. She should be able to see him immediately, right? Xiao Chen said. Never mind. Let's search again carefully. Bebe might be able to leap onto roofs and vault over walls, Cheng Menjing said. By the way, did you go to the washroom? Yes, both in the rooms and in the public areas. There's no one there, Shen Jingxian said. The three of them began to search like a carpet again. This time, they opened all the curtains and looked carefully. They even checked the clothes in the closet. Finally, they found Jean Bebe behind the curtains of one of the guest rooms. She was standing by the window, holding the iron bars of the anti-theft window and stepping on the air conditioner. It seemed that she had squeezed through the gap of the anti-theft window. This behavior made Cheng Menjing a little speechless. Bebe, do you know that it's very dangerous for you to do this? This is the second floor. What if you fall? He. I was thinking of hiding in a more inconspicuous place, wasn't I? Jean Bebe grinned. It's all right. Bebe is very light. I won't fall. Then come back now. Shen Jingxian had not seen it before. Now that she saw it, she was quite alarmed. It was almost like a high-altitude worker. However, she did not have any protection at all. If she fell, he. All right. Jean Bebe nodded and squeezed through the gap of the iron bars of the anti-theft window. However, she could not squeeze through after a long time. She was immediately dumbfounded. Well, I don't think I can get in. Then how did you get out? Cheng Menjing immediately said anxiously, Stop kidding me. Look at the situation right now. No, cousin Menjing. When I went out, because I was in the house and my feet were on the windowsill, I dared to exert my strength. However, the air conditioner under my feet was shaking, and I had to share the weight with my hands. How could I exert my strength? Jean Bebe said bitterly. Cheng Menjing was rendered speechless. She realized that it was indeed the case. How heavy could the stand of the air conditioner be able to support? If Jean Bebe exerted her strength, chances were that she would have stepped on it. However small and light Jean Bebe was, she was still 50 kilograms. Her breasts were heavy. Then what do we do? Should we pull her in together? Shen Jingxian was anxious, too. They could not stay outside forever. God knew when the air conditioner would fall. That's the only way. Cheng Menjing said. Bebe, give us your hand. We will pull you in. Okay. Jean Bebe turned her body sideways and extended her hand. Then she said, Okay. Let's get started. Cheng Menjing and Shen Jingxian grabbed Jean Bebe's arm and pulled her into the house. Xiao Chen did not help her. After all, it was inappropriate for a man and a woman to touch each other. It was not appropriate for him to help her at this moment. He would help her later when it was too late. Wah. Stop it. It hurts. Jean Bebe screamed as she was pulled. What's wrong? Cheng Menjing and Shen Jingxian were shocked and hurried to stop. My breasts are going to explode. Jean Bebe screamed, It hurts. It hurts. It hurts. Cheng Menjing was speechless. Just bear with it. It's better than falling. Fine. Let's try again, Jean Bebe said, gritting her teeth. Therefore, Cheng Menjing and Shen Jingxian started to exert their strength again. However, Jean Bebe screamed again. No. My breasts hurt. I will die. Jean Bebe sounded like she was about to cry. Chapter 278. Xiao Chen is right next to us. Watch your mouth. Cheng Menjing reminded her. I'm about to die. What's there to watch? My cousin-in-law is not an outsider. Jean Bebe grimaced in pain. Then how did you get out? Cheng Menjing did not know what to do. You can't come back on your own, and you can't come back even if we pull you. What do you want exactly? I want to, too. Jean Bebe was rather happy a moment ago, but she was almost crying right now. I don't want to die. I don't have a boyfriend yet. Cousin-in-law, I'm going to die. Why don't you kiss me before I die and pretend to be my boyfriend? Bebe, you are purposely messing around, aren't you? Cheng Menjing could not help but frown after hearing that. Not exactly. She squeezed herself out by herself. She did it skillfully. If you pull her by force, it will be brute force. Of course, it's different. Xiaochen did not know whether to laugh or cry. He said, now, there are two solutions. One is that I knock down the iron bars of the protective window, and the other is simpler. I'll stand downstairs, and Bebe will jump down. My sister will be there. Yes, yes, yes. Hearing what Xiaochen said, Jean Bebe nodded quickly. Cousin-in-law, you are the best to me. Cousin Menjing is not. You little traitor. Cheng Menjing glared at Jean Bebe. She was somewhat angry, but she still asked concernedly, if you dismantle the protective window, you will have to tear down the entire window, won't you? Won't Bebe fall down? I'll try my best to be careful, Xiaochen said. Or I'll jump down. Then, can you really catch me? Cheng Menjing, on the other hand, felt that it was a good idea. After all, the villa was rented, and it was not good to destroy it. Bebe, you'd better jump down. Jean Bebe said in a hurry, too. Bebe's legs are already weak. Okay. I'll go down. Then, you will jump if I tell you to. Xiaochen nodded. Then, he quickly went downstairs and came to the yard of the villa. He raised his head and looked at Jean Bebe in the sky. It's done. You can jump down at any time. Ah, okay. Jean Bebe carefully turned around and faced Xiaochen. Then, she said, cousin-in-law, I'm going to jump. Okay. Xiaochen nodded. Bebe believes in you. Jean Bebe screamed and jumped down from the second floor. Cheng Menjing and Shen Jingxian, who were watching from behind, were very worried. Please don't let anything go wrong. Of course, Shen Jingxian was not as good as Xiaochen. She knew Xiaochen's capability and knew that Jean Bebe would definitely be fine. Xiaochen didn't disappoint her. He reached out and caught Jean Bebe. Then, following Jean Bebe's inertia, he took a few steps back and lay in the courtyard of the villa. In fact, it was because Xiaochen had offset the acceleration of Jean Bebe's jump. Otherwise, if Jean Bebe crashed into him, he might be fine, but the strong impact might make Jean Bebe feel very uncomfortable. In this way, Jean Bebe basically didn't feel uncomfortable lying on Xiaochen's body. However, their posture was slightly unsightly. It was as if Jean Bebe had pushed Xiaochen down. Holy sh*t. It's always said that it's cool to push someone down. It's really cool to ride on my cousin-in-law. No wonder cousin Menjing likes to be a queen. Jean Bebe said. Cheng Menjing was about to ask how Jean Bebe and Xiaochen were doing, but when she heard the first half of Jean Bebe's sentence, she was immediately infuriated. What nonsense are you talking about? However, the second half of Jean Bebe's sentence almost infuriated her. How come I'm the topic of conversation? What kind of queen am I? I told you that it was a misunderstanding last time. Bebe, you're not dead, are you? If you're not dead, get up. Cheng Menjing snorted and said fiercely. Oh, cousin Menjing is so protective of her food. I didn't really push her. I only pretended to push her, Jean Bebe said with a pout. Shoo, 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 you almost died just now. You're always looking for trouble. Let's see what you can do without Xiaochen. Cheng Menjing lectured. Isn't that because I have a cousin-in-law? It's all because of you, cousin, and your cousin-in-law, said Jean Bebe. He is a servant selected by me. Of course, he is capable. If he is not, I will fire him. Cheng Menjing said. Jean Bebe's words made Shen Jingxuan's heart tighten a little. She could tell that Jean Bebe seemed to want Xiaochen to be her cousin-in-law. Otherwise, she wouldn't have called him her cousin-in-law every time she opened her mouth. Shen Jingxian knew Jean Bebe very well. She was very clear about her likes and dislikes. It was impossible for her to talk about someone she did not like very often. She would only talk about someone she liked very often. However, had Menjing been treating Xiao Chen as a servant all the time? To be honest, although the women of the ancient warrior families didn't mind having multiple wives, one of them had to be the legal wife, right? Cheng Menjing was her bestie, and Xiao Chen was her bestie's ex-fiancé. If she snatched him away, it wouldn't make sense at all. Shen Jingxian was afraid that the sisters would not get along with each other because of such things, which would be a real headache for her. However, what could she do? Xiao Chen had to admit that it did feel quite good to be jumped on by Jin Beibei just now. However, it was inappropriate for Xiao Chen to enjoy himself in front of Shen Jingxian either. He helped Jin Beibei to her feet and stood up himself. Alright, hide-and-seek is a draw, isn't it? Let's play something else instead of such a dangerous game. You're right. Intimidated by Jin Beibei, Cheng Menjing did not dare to play anymore. God knew where the unfortunate girl would hide herself in a more dangerous place next time. This time, she had Xiao Chen's timely help, but what if he didn't come back next time? I'm going to cook. You can discuss what to play. Xiao Chen nodded and went to work in the kitchen of the villa, leaving room for Cheng Menjing, Shen Jingxian, and Jin Beibei to whisper to each other. There were a lot of ingredients. Even though Yi Xiaoye had taken some of them away, there were still a lot of them left. The food that they cooked was still not enough to eat. After all, it was the first time that Shen Jingxian had come to visit. Xiao Chen had to prepare a few more dishes. Menjing, are you and Xiao Chen living together now? Glancing at Xiao Chen who was busy in the kitchen, Shen Jingxian smiled and asked, somewhat in melancholy. If it were before, she would not have asked such a gossipy question, especially when she knew that Cheng Menjing did not like Xiao Chen. But right now, Shen Jingxian did not believe that Cheng Menjing had not noticed Xiao Chen's excellence after living with Xiao Chen for such a long time, especially when Jin Beibei was still persuading him. He is this lady's servant. Cheng Menjing said. But from what I've seen, he is more or less qualified. I will continue to use him. Oh, have you ever thought about the future with him? Shen Jingxian asked. Future? What future? He's my servant, not my fiancé. How can there be a future? Cheng Menjing's heart skipped a beat for no reason. She shook her head and said, let's not talk about Xiao Chen anymore. He makes me angry every day. Let's talk about Chen Jinpeng. Do you really want to marry him? Jin Beibei also nodded and said, yes, yes. That little shack is silly every day like an idiot. He is far worse than his brother. So what? The family arranged it. Of course, Shen Jingxian could not say that she had a secret relationship with Xiao Chen, nor could she be with Chen Jinpeng. Therefore, she could only give a perfunctory answer. Shen Jingxian felt a little uncomfortable after saying that. When had she ever lied to Cheng Menjing before? If they hid things from each other, would they still be best friends? Jin Beibei suggested, why don't you follow my cousin-in-law? After all, he has been tested by Beibei and is very strong in that aspect. The three of us will be fine, too. You? Have you been tested? Shen Jingxian widened her eyes and looked at Jin Beibei in disbelief. No way. Did Xiao Chen do that with me? Gosh, why is there another Jin Beibei? Didn't we agree that there would only be one Tang Tang? Jingxian, don't listen to her nonsense. She said in the movies that a man who can run fast, can last long in that aspect. The eldest miss blushed and said in a low voice. Anyway, they were all good sisters, and no one else heard it. Otherwise, she would not dare to talk nonsense. Oh. Shen Jingxian also blushed a little. Can it really last long? What does it feel like? However, in the eyes of Cheng Menjing, Shen Jingxuan's blush was because of the topic. She did not know that she was thinking of Xiao Chen. By the way, Xiao Chen asked you to get in the car today. Why did you get in? Aren't you afraid of being implicated? Cheng Menjing asked. Well, what should I do? They want to deal with Xiao Chen, and I can't just stand by and watch him. I just want to get in the car. Chen Jinpeng and Chao Yuliang can be merciful to me, but... Shen Jingxian shook her head. Yeah, it was the same when I got in the car last time. I felt that Chao Yuliang and Chen Jinpeng did not really like us. If it were Xiao Chen, he would definitely not do that. Cheng Menjing nodded. The children of aristocratic families all focus on the interests of the family. Anything else can be a stepping stone to the top. Yeah, so Chen Jinpeng and I are destined to have a tragedy in the future. We'd better find a way to drag it out. Shen Jingxian gave Cheng Menjing a warning. In fact, I suddenly realized that it would have been a good ending to marry Xiao Chen. If I became Chao Yuliang, God knows how I would have lived. Cheng Menjing said with some emotion. After getting to know him, I found that Xiao Chen is really not as ignorant and incompetent as he was before. Then are you going to marry him? Shen Jingxian asked nervously. Well, it's not realistic. The Cheng family will not agree. Let's not talk about this. Cheng Menjing did not want to think about the topic that gave her a headache. Then how do you know that Xiao Chen will not put the interests of the family first? Shen Jingxian asked. I feel that he is very good to me, Cheng Menjing said. Speaking of which, I am really poor. Shen Jingxian sighed. But this is also the sorrow of us, the children of aristocratic families. Chapter 279. Cousin Menjing, Sister Jingxian, you must know how to fight back. Why don't we elope with my cousin-in-law? Jean Beibei suggested. Pooh. Do you think every family is like yours? Cheng Menjing was immediately amused. Just be happy. Besides, I don't like Xiao Chen at all. Why would I elope with him? I don't hate him at all. All right. Cousin Menjing, you still need to work harder. Jean Beibei said. Beibei's sexual happiness will depend on you. If you like him, I can give him to you. I don't care. Cheng Menjing said. That's different. My sister-in-law stole my brother-in-law, and sharing my brother-in-law with my sister-in-law are two different things. The former will be scolded, but the latter is quite normal in a martial arts family. Jean Beibei said. Then don't think of me. Cheng Menjing ignored Jean Beibei's topic. The three of them chattered on about other things. Xiao Chen's food was ready, so he asked them to come over and eat together. Wow! So delicious! Beibei loves it. Looking at the delicious dishes on the table, Jean Beibei was drooling. Cheng Menjing and Shen Jingxian looked at Jean Beibei. It was quite a happy thing to have such a clown at home. After they sat down at the table, Shen Jingxian suddenly realized that Jean Beibei was not lying at all. Xiao Chen's cooking was indeed marvelous. It was as good as the food in a 5-star hotel. She had not eaten yet, but she was already hungry after smelling the aroma and looking at the color of the dishes. Sister Jingxian, this is delicious. You should have some, too. Jean Beibei picked up a lamb chop and said to Shen Jingxian. Okay. Hearing Jean Beibei's words, Shen Jingxian found it inappropriate to refuse. She picked up a lamb chop, too. However, before she started eating, Jean Beibei had finished her food. Sister Jingxian, this crispy duck is delicious too. You should have some, too. Jean Beibei picked up a piece of crispy duck and said to Shen Jingxian. Okay. Shen Jingxian picked up a piece of crispy duck as well. Sister Jingxian, this giant squid is delicious too. You should have some, too. Jean Beibei picked up a piece of squid and said to Shen Jingxian. Okay. Shen Jingxian picked up a piece of squid too. Beibei, not everyone eats as fast as you. You should eat by yourself. Can't you see that you've already eaten 3 pieces, but Jingxian hasn't eaten a single piece? Jingxian, Jean Jingxian said to Beibei, Beibei tu. Jingxian, this Jingsto tu. Ah. Oh. Jean Beibei quickly stopped talking to Shen Jingxian. However, after thinking for a while, she turned her head to look at Xiao Chen. Cousin-in-law, this crispy pork is delicious. Tu. The crispy pork is delicious. Following Jean Beibei, Xiao Chen picked up a piece of meat and ate it. Beibei, this spicy abalone is a new recipe. You should try it, too. Yes. Abalone is delicious. Cousin-in-law, you should eat some too. Jean Beibei ate an abalone. Shen Jingxian looked at Jean Beibei and Xiao Chen, not knowing whether to laugh or cry. These two, the two of them are like starving ghosts. Forget about them. Cheng Menjing said, let's eat our own food, but Xiao Chen's cooking is really delicious. Soon, Shen Jingxian understood why Cheng Menjing said so. It was more than delicious. It was simply too delicious. She suddenly envied Cheng Menjing's good fortune. Xiao Chen was truly a full-time expert now. Therefore, although Xiao Chen had cooked a lot, in the end, almost all the food on the table was gone. Even Shen Jingxian made an exception and ate a lot. She did not even have the main course but only the side dishes. She was almost stuffed. Jingxian, I didn't know that you could eat so much, Cheng Menjing said with a smile. You never brought me to eat such delicious food before. Are you my bestie? Shen Jingxian felt that it was too delicious. She had never tasted such delicious food in her life. If she stayed with Xiao Chen in the future, would she be able to eat it every day? No, she could not eat it every day, or she would turn into a fat girl. Xiao Chen would certainly not like it. But Tang Tang seemed to be an exception. I didn't have a chance before. Cheng Menjing said, besides, didn't you eat the roasted shark last time? All right. Shen Jingxian thought of the delicious shark last week. After the meal, no one was willing to move. So Jean Beibei suggested that they play mahjong. In this way, they did not need to move and could digest the food. Neither Cheng Menjing nor Shen Jingxian had any objection, nor did Xiao Chen. In this villa, there were many things left by the previous owners, including mahjong. Xiao Chen went to find them. Then, they set up a mahjong game on the table. The mahjong table was set up. Different places had different ways of playing. They were all from Songning City, so they played Songning mahjong. After a few rounds of mahjong, some of them won and some lost. However, Xiao Chen suddenly felt a pain on his thigh. He was stunned and turned around to look at Jean Beibei, who was sitting next to him, only to find that Jean Beibei was blinking at him secretly. Xiao Chen was a little confused. Why did Jean Beibei pinch me? However, before Xiao Chen figured out what was going on, he felt a heat on his thigh. It was Jean Beibei who put her hand on his thigh. What's going on? Is Jean Beibei playing a rogue? Could it be that Jean Beibei had gotten used to pushing him back and had started to flirt with him? However, Xiao Chen thought it was unlikely. So, he looked at Jean Beibei calmly. However, his puzzled look made Jean Beibei even bolder. She even hooked her finger on Xiao Chen's thigh. What is she trying to do? If it was Shen Jingxian who did it, Xiao Chen could understand. However, since it was Jean Beibei, Xiao Chen couldn't understand at all. Even though Jean Beibei was a little bold in her words, she had never done anything outrageous. San Bing. Just as Xiao Chen was feeling puzzled, Jean Beibei suddenly shouted and played a card. At the same time, the hand she placed on Xiao Chen's hand suddenly pinched him. Xiao Chen was in pain. However, the pain was nothing for Xiao Chen. It only made him more curious. What was Jean Beibei up to? Beibei, why are you so loud? Is there something wrong with you? You scared me. Cheng Menjing immediately glared at Jean Beibei and scolded her. Hee hee. I was just too unlucky in the previous games. I was just cheering to cheer myself up. While talking, Jean Bebe began to draw on Xiao Chen's thigh again. However, after Xiao Chen calmed himself down, he found something wrong. Jean Bebe was writing on his thigh. If it were somebody else, it might be difficult for them to tell what Jean Bebe was writing. However, with his super senses, it was not difficult for Xiao Chen to tell that Jean Bebe was writing 8. So, Jean Bebe was cheating with him. Xiao Chen did not know whether to laugh or cry. It was just a game of cards. However, he and Jean Bebe had always cooperated well. After all, it was just a game. Since he happened to have 8 in his hand, he played it casually. 8. Eat. Jean Bebe was so excited that she almost flipped the mahjong table over. Bebe, calm down. What are you doing? Cheng Menjing glared at her. Oh. It's not easy for me to have good cards. I'm too excited. Thank you, cousin-in-law. While talking, Jean Bebe blinked at Xiao Chen. However, in other people's eyes, Jean Bebe was merely thanking Xiao Chen for his accidental play. Only Xiao Chen himself knew that Jean Bebe was truly grateful for his cooperation. Later, with Xiao Chen's cooperation, it was almost impossible for Jean Bebe to lose. She won quite a few games in a row and acted as the banker. However, Jean Bebe's actions made Xiao Chen shudder with fear. If he were to say that he enjoyed it, he was afraid that the young mistress, especially Shen Jingxian, would see it. If he were to say that he did not enjoy it, it was pretty exciting. It was just like when he was having an affair with Jean Bebe in the closet, except that Jean Bebe was the one who played the role. To be honest, it was impossible for Xiao Chen not to have any thoughts when he was faced with Jean Bebe every day. However, he did not show it. That's not right. Xiao Chen, why do you play the cards that Bebe lacks? After a few games, Cheng Menjing discovered the problem. Exactly. Shen Jingxian looked at Xiao Chen suspiciously, too. Xiao Chen, did you help Jean Bebe cheat? Shen Jingxian, on the other hand, did not think too much. Xiao Chen's senses were so keen that he could even notice the holes. Not to mention Jean Bebe's cards, in her opinion, it was Xiao Chen who helped her because he saw Jean Bebe's cards. How is it possible? Jean Bebe hurried to withdraw her hand from Xiao Chen's thigh. Then, as if it were not a big deal, she said, I'm lucky. My cousin-in-law and I are telepathic. How is it cheating? Cheng Menjing stood up and said, I don't think it is right. Why don't we switch seats so that you don't have to sit next to him? Oh. That's fine. Bebe is lucky. He can have whatever he wants. Although Jean Bebe could not cheat anymore, she was still reluctant to admit it. Of course, she would never admit it. Otherwise, Cheng Menjing would never play with her again. After switching seats, the cards were rearranged, and everybody began to draw their cards. Cheng Menjing looked at Xiao Chen suspiciously and then at Jean Bebe. Although she did not know what the two of them were up to, she believed that something was definitely wrong. Xiao Chen and Jean Bebe were very close to each other. The two of them often played tricks. Chances were that they were really up to something. However, if the two of them were separated, they would not be able to play any tricks anymore. I'd like to see if you can still win this time, Bebe. Cheng Menjing said. I have unparalleled luck. So, I can still win. Besides, he did not cheat at all. Jean Bebe said calmly. As it turned out, Jean Bebe was right. Although they had switched seats, Xiao Chen was still playing and winning whatever cards Jean Bebe was playing. There was no restriction on who was playing the cards, and Jean Bebe was still winning. This time, Cheng Menjing did not think that Xiao Chen was helping Jean Bebe to cheat. The two of them were 20 meters away from each other. Even whispering and hinting would not work. How could Xiao Chen continue playing the cards that she needed? Chapter 280. Xiao Chen, why do you always play the cards that Beibei needs? Cheng Menjing was very angry. It seemed that Xiao Chen was really unlucky. Xiao Chen secretly felt it was a little funny. In order not to be exposed, Xiao Chen could only use his divine sense to remember the sequence of all the mahjong tiles. Then, he knew what Beibei had. In this way, he could play the cards that Jean Beibei wanted. Before, Jean Beibei thought it was an accident. However, after several consecutive games, Xiao Chen played whatever she needed. This time, Jean Beibei was a little confused. How did Xiao Chen do it? She had hinted before, but now she didn't. How did he play the cards? Is my brother-in-law really a transformer with special abilities? Thinking of this, Jean Beibei was a little excited. This is the god of gamblers. Next time, I will take my brother-in-law to make money. It will be a pity if I don't make use of him. As the game went on, Xiao Chen played and Jean Beibei won. At the beginning, it was quite fun. However, after Jean Beibei won too many times, it became boring. Therefore, the game ended hastily. In the evening, it was almost time for Shen Jingxian to go back. Xiao Chen, send Jingxian back. She didn't drive here, Cheng Menjing told Xiao Chen. Okay. Xiao Chen naturally couldn't refuse. Even if the eldest miss didn't ask, he would have volunteered. On the surface, Shen Jingxian didn't seem to be any different. She had her signature smile on her face, as if she was very kind to everything. After leaving the villa, Shen Jingxian got in the Land Rover and let out a sigh of relief. I suddenly find that disguising is so tiring. Xiao Chen, how did you disguise yourself before? How could you disguise yourself for so long? After such a short time, I already feel uneasy. Just get used to it. You won't be in danger even if you don't disguise yourself. But I'm different. There are too many families that want to replace the Xiao family, Xiao Chen said as he started the car. Shen Jingxian put down the back of the seat to make herself more comfortable. Yeah, I suddenly feel that you've had a hard time all these years. Not bad. Lie down. Are you going to have sex with me? Xiao Chen asked. Go to hell. Shen Jingxian rolled her eyes at Xiao Chen. Why don't you say that? Xiao Chen, don't say such things. It's not good. Xiao Chen imitated Shen Jingxuan's previous tone and said. I don't want to say it. You won't listen if I say it. Shen Jingxian lay on the chair lazily. She paused and said, I think it's good for lovers to talk about these things occasionally. You're a little different. Xiao Chen sighed. The more he interacted with a goddess, the less one would be a goddess. How is it different? By the way, I haven't asked you yet. What's going on between you and Jean Beibei? Do you like her? Shen Jingxian suddenly asked. Why do you say that? Xiao Chen was slightly stunned. If you don't like her, why did you help her cheat? Menjing doesn't know, but I do. You must have sensed her cards with some kind of perception, Shen Jingxian said. Beibei is just like that. She likes to play, and she calls me her cousin-in-law every day. She wants me to help her cheat, and I can't very well reject her. Xiao Chen admitted to cheating. He knew that he couldn't hide it from Shen Jingxian. Cousin-in-law, you're quite happy being a cousin-in-law and sister-in-law. Your relationship. Humph. Shen Jingxian pursed her lips and said, you must like her. You like her. Xiao Chen didn't know what to say. It turned out that goddess Shen, who had always been kind, could also be unreasonable. It seemed that in many situations, women would change from their original appearance when they were familiar with you. Hey, why aren't you talking? I'm joking with you. Shen Jingxian saw that Xiao Chen was silent and thought he was angry. She didn't know when she started to care about Xiao Chen's emotions. I know. It's useless for me to explain. Anyway, you know what kind of person I am. Xiao Chen said with a bitter smile. It seemed that his previous image was too deep-rooted. Well, don't contact me or send me messages normally. I'm afraid my family and Chen Jinpeng will see it, Shen Jingxian reminded him. Okay. Xiao Chen nodded. Shen Jingshuan's house was in front. Xiao Chen stopped the car by the roadside and turned to look at Shen Jingxian. What? Why did you stop? Shen Jingxian asked. Nothing. I'm just a little reluctant. It doesn't feel real, said Xiao Chen. Shen Jingxian took the initiative to hold Xiao Chen's hand. Me too. It feels like everything is too sudden. I'm not mentally prepared yet. 2 weekends had completely changed the trajectory of Shen Jingshuan's life. In the past, she had never dreamed that she would be with Xiao Chen. They were completely different people. But now, it was so natural for them to be together. Xiao Chen silently started the car and drove in the direction of the Shen family. The car stopped at the door of the Shen family. Xiao Chen didn't say anything more. Although there was a trace of reluctance in his eyes, he still said, "Goodbye, N." Shen Jingxian was also a little reluctant in her heart. She didn't know when she would see Xiao Chen again. Of course, as long as Chao Yuliang and Chen Jinpeng dealt with Xiao Chen, then they would have a chance to see each other. However, on the one hand, Shen Jingxian wanted to see Xiao Chen. On the other hand, she didn't want Chao Yuliang and Chen Jinpeng to deal with Xiao Chen. If they looked for Xiao Chen, it meant that they had come up with a conspiracy to deal with Xiao Chen again. Xiao Chen started the car. Just like last time, it drifted beautifully and drove away from the Shen family's courtyard. Shen Jingxian reluctantly watched Xiao Chen's car leave inside. Xian, did Jinpeng send you back? Why are you so early today? Shen Zhenghao heard the sound of the car in the courtyard and walked out of the villa. He saw his daughter standing at the door of the courtyard and watching a car leave. He was a little surprised that Shen Jingxian came back a little early today. Oh, no. Shen Jingxian shook her head and said unhappily, Menjing sent Xiao Chen to send me back. The car last time could be said to be Cheng Menjing's car, but this time Xiao Chen drove Li Shaniying's Land Rover. It didn't look like Cheng Menjing's car, so she could only say that it was Xiao Chen's car. Xiao Chen? Why is it him? Shen Zhenghao was a little puzzled. Didn't you go out with Jinpeng? I went out to play before, and then I went to Menjing's house. Shen Jingxian said. Oh, that's Xiao Chen. Where did his car come from? Shen Zhenghao was a little puzzled. Xiao Chen should be very poor. To be honest, he didn't pay attention to Xiao Chen. As long as he paid attention to Xiao Chen, he would understand that Xiao Chen had a lot of cars. Chen Jinpeng gave it to him. Shen Jingxian said and didn't say anything about Li Shaniying. Chen Jinpeng? Shen Zhenghao was even more puzzled. Didn't Chen Jinpeng and him fall out long ago? Why did he still give him a car? I don't know. He gave him a few cars. Xiao Chen also gave him a car, but it was a very ordinary Volkswagen. Shen Jingxian said. It's really strange. Shen Zhenghao shook his head. He didn't understand what Chen Jinpeng was thinking, but he didn't care about him. He just said, Xian, how are you getting along with Jinpeng recently? I mentioned the purchase of medicinal herbs to Chen Huanling, but he hesitated and didn't give a clear answer. He just said that he had asked the shopkeeper of the warrior market, Ji Mucheng, for other things before, so it wasn't good to keep asking him. Shen Zhenghao felt that this was just an excuse. There was no progress on Shen Jingxian and Chen Jinpeng's side. They were only engaged verbally, and they didn't hold an engagement ceremony. To be honest, this kind of verbal thing was invalid. Only a real engagement counted. Big families were all superficial. A verbal engagement could be torn up at will, but a real engagement and a banquet couldn't be easily broken off. It would be a slap in the face. No, this person is stupid. Shen Jingxian shook her head. Did Grandpa say when second great-grandfather will come out of seclusion? What medicinal herbs do you need? This hasn't been said yet. But if it's fast, it'll be in a few months. If it's slow, it'll be in spring next year. So we have to hurry up here. We can't let other families get ahead of us. Shen Zhenghao said, these young talents in Songning City are really a bit weak, but we can't find a marriage partner for you across the district. That's tantamount to stepping into someone else's territory. No matter how I look at it, only Chen Jinpeng from the Chen family is okay. Well, I'll see. Shen Jingxian was a little silent, then she said, Dad, what if I don't find a son from an aristocratic family, and find another, such as a powerful individual cultivator? An individual cultivator. Shen Zhenghao was slightly stunned after listening, then he smiled bitterly and said, in theory, it's not impossible. If your brother gives up the competition, it'll be fine as long as the person you marry is a warrior. The other Shen family won't interfere too much. But your brother's situation. Do you think the strength of an individual cultivator can be stronger than a family? Moreover, Chen Huanling can order some medicinal herbs from the warrior's market square. Can an individual cultivator do the same? This. Shen Jingxian sighed. It was indeed like this. Well, don't think so much. Since I've chosen to support Jingmao, then we, father and daughter, can only keep going. Shen Zhenghao was a little helpless, but he thought that Shen Jingxian was just in conflict with Chen Jinpeng's engagement, so she would rather find an individual cultivator than marry Chen Jinpeng. Well. Shen Jingxian thought of her brother and Xiao Chen. He can definitely change, right? I believe he can. On the way back, Xiao Chen's cell phone suddenly rang. He picked it up and saw that it was Zhang Tianhao, whom he hadn't contacted for a long time. Seeing his phone number, Xiao Chen's heart immediately sank. Xiao Chen had been guarding against Old Witch of Xishan, trying to delay as long as he could. He also wanted to break through to the 5th level of the refinement stage. But now, he was still at the peak of the 4th level. Even if he went all out, he was only equivalent to a warrior at the 5th level of the inner force. At best, he was at the peak of the 5th level, which made it difficult for him to face Old Witch of Xishan, a 6th level evil cultivator. Chapter 281. However, he hadn't broken through until now. Xiao Chen's intuition told him that Zhang Tianhao's call wasn't a good thing. Sure enough, after Xiao Chen picked up the phone, Zhang Tianhao said hurriedly, Mr. White Fox, Xishan Old Witch saw that you haven't contacted me for a long time, so he's a little impatient. He has personally gone to Songning City to look for you. What? When did this happen? Xiao Chen was slightly shocked. Xishan Old Witch is here? This morning, but I just got the news, so I quickly contacted you. Zhang Tianhao said. Xishan Old Witch went in a rage. Mr. White Fox, if you are not sure, you should hide for a while. Hide? Xiao Chen couldn't help but smile bitterly. How could he hide? He couldn't leave Songning City at all. At present, Xiao Chen's identity was Cheng Menjiang's servant. How could he go out? Wouldn't it be suspicious if he went out? Xishan Old Witch can find me. Mr. White Fox, although this Xishan Old Witch is from Jianghu, he doesn't know nothing about modern technology. He should be able to find you based on your mobile phone's signal location. So, I'm calling to remind you to turn off your phone first. Zhang Tianhao said. Oh. This Xishan Old Witch is quite modern. Xiao Chen was slightly stunned. But then, Xiao Chen was shocked, and he suddenly stepped on the brakes. Because, not far from his car, there was a person with long hair, and it was a man. This person was wearing an ancient robe, and there was an indescribable demonic aura on him. This made Xiao Chen's heart sink. If he guessed correctly, this person should be Xishan Old Witch. A sixth-layer evil cultivator. Xiao Chen knew that even if he crashed into him with his car, the other party could easily dodge it. So he didn't bother with that pointless effort and stopped the car with a screech. "Mr. White Fox, what happened on your side?" Zhang Tianhao was slightly stunned when he heard the harsh braking sound. "It's nothing. It should be old demon Xishan. I'll talk to you later." Xiao Chen took a deep breath and hung up the phone. Different situations call for different measures. Since he had encountered them, Xiao Chen had no way to escape. He could only try to fight. Jia, you are the White Fox, right?" The long-haired man in the ancient robe looked at Xiao Chen and smiled evilly. "I knew that Zhang Tianhao would call you and inform you. However, that was a flaw that I purposely revealed. My purpose was to make him call you. If you hadn't answered his call, I wouldn't have been able to find you so quickly. 50,000 yuan was not spent in vain, but I don't need it anymore." The long-haired man threw something in his hand onto the ground and walked towards Xiao Chen. "Old demon Xishan?" Xiao Chen asked. "Not bad. Looks like you're nothing special. My disciple actually died in your hands. What a pity, hee. Old demon Xishan sneered. "However, you're going to die soon. Which sect are you from? Tell me." "There's no need. Are you going to leave after I tell you?" Xiao Chen asked lightly. "No matter which sect you're from, you're going to die today. I, old demon Xishan, have never been afraid of anyone." Old demon Xishan laughed and suddenly moved. With a black mist surrounding him, he suddenly attacked Xiao Chen. Xiao Chen's heart tightened slightly. He quickly dodged backward and prepared to dodge. Old demon Xishan's speed was very fast, but with the speed of a level 4 refinement stage cultivator, Xiao Chen could completely deal with him. This was the difference between a cultivator and a warrior. However, Xiao Chen barely dodged it. He was almost swept away by the black mist on old demon Xishan's hand. However, even if he didn't get swept away, the remaining power still made Xiao Chen's face burn with pain. This black mist seemed to have a corrosive effect. "Your reaction is quite fast." Old demon Xishan snorted coldly. "But it's useless. I'm just testing you. I didn't use my full strength. This time, you're dead. Death devour." As he spoke, old demon Xishan's aura suddenly strengthened. The black aura seemed to have become even thicker. Xiao Chen could even smell the smell of something rotting, like a rotting corpse. Could it be that old demon Xishan used dead people to cultivate? Otherwise, why would the black mist smell and feel like this? However, Xiao Chen didn't have time to think about it. Old demon Xishan had already opened his palms and rushed towards Xiao Chen like a bat. Xiao Chen subconsciously dodged quickly. F***ck, it's really difficult for me to deal with this kind of evil cultivator. Last time, he had Yi Xiaoya's help, and Xiao Chen's sneak attack also played a large role. But now, Xiao Chen only had himself to face the stronger old demon Xishan. It would be strange if Xiao Chen could relax. However, this was not the way to go. Old demon Xishan was getting stronger and stronger. Xiao Chen could only dodge. This time, he dodged, but he failed. Xiao Chen only felt that his shoulder was swept by the black mist. In an instant, the clothes on Xiao Chen's shoulder were gone, and his body was a bloody mess. The toxicity of this black mist was simply too strong. Xiao Chen even suspected that if he didn't dodge, he would be burned to bones by the black mist. Xiao Chen stared at old demon Xishan vigilantly. At the same time, he circulated the mantra and used his Yuan Qi to quickly heal his injuries. In his heart, he thought to Elder Heaven Ancestor, what should I do now? This guy is stronger than me by 2 levels. Moreover, I can feel that the evil cultivator's strength is higher than that of a normal warrior. He is comparable to a cultivator. Compared to a cultivator? That's far from it. Elder Heaven Ancestor snorted and said, but now your strength is indeed too weak. His black mist is actually corroding some of your flesh and blood. You use your full strength to circulate the mantra and hit him. Let me see how much damage you can cause. Then, I will judge whether you have a chance of winning. I'm testing the danger with my own body. Xiaofan couldn't help but be speechless. At this moment, old demon Xiaofan launched another attack and rushed towards Xiaofan. Xiaofan also discovered that old demon Xiaofan didn't need to use any fancy moves. Just this dark devour was enough to make Xiaofan suffer. This time, Xiaofan didn't dodge. Instead, he used all his strength to circulate the mantra and then punched with all his strength to meet old demon Xiaofan's attack. Old demon Xiaofan was stunned. He didn't expect Xiaofan to meet the attack head-on. In this way, didn't he completely use the black mist to cover Xiaofan? As for Xiaofan's punch, he didn't care about it. Through his previous investigation, this white fox was only a level 5 inner force warrior. There was a difference in strength between them. Boom! Xiaofan's fist hit old demon Xiaofan's body. At the same time, old demon Xiaofan's black mist completely enveloped Xiaofan. At this moment, Xiaofan felt like he was in a sea of fire. His whole body felt like it was burning. The heart-wrenching pain felt like Xiaofan's skin was being torn off. However, Xiaofan didn't care. Anyway, cultivators could quickly recover from their injuries, so he didn't care. Old demon Xiaofan flew out. He looked at Xiaofan in disbelief. He didn't understand how Xiaofan could still use his inner force under the cover of the black mist. This was impossible. A warrior couldn't use their inner force under his dark devour. This was because the black mist had corroded and damaged the warrior's skin and muscles. They couldn't use their inner force at all. A Mormon disciple. Old demon Xiaofan was shocked when he saw that Xiaofan's injuries weren't serious and that he had a self-recovery effect. So White Fox was a demon sect disciple. As expected, the rumors were true. Xiaofan's heavy blow had caused the blood in old demon Xiaofan's body to churn. He didn't expect Xiaofan to be able to use such a huge force under his dark devour. He wasn't prepared at all, so this punch caused his internal organs to shift, causing him to suffer injuries that weren't light or heavy. Good. Very good. Old demon Xiaofan sneered. He, you actually injured me. It's not easy, but my temper has come. Just wait for your death. After saying that, the black gas on old witch Xiaofan's body became denser and more intense. A dazzling red light flashed around him, and then, a ball of light formed by black gas suddenly appeared in his palm. The inside was black gas, and the outside was dazzling red light. It was much stronger than the black ball of the evil cultivator's disciple. Old demon Xiaofan flipped his palm and the black ball of light smashed towards Xiaofan. Xiaofan was shocked. He quickly wanted to dodge, but he didn't expect that this black ball actually had a tracking function. Xiaofan ran, and the black ball followed behind him. When Xiaofan turned, the black ball also turned. This really made Xiaofan speechless. This old demon Xiaofan didn't do anything. He didn't release any big moves, but he already made it difficult for Xiaofan to move an inch. It seemed that this gap of one level wasn't something that could be easily overcome. However, what Xiaofan didn't know was that although old demon Xiaofan had the strength of a 6th level evil cultivator, his strength had dropped because he was injured in the past. The martial technique he could use was above the 6th level. Although the effect wasn't as good as his peak strength, it was already very earth-shattering for a martial artist of the same level. This was also the reason why Xiaofan felt that the other party was too powerful. One had to know that in old demon Xiaofan's peak state, his black ball was enough to kill a martial artist like Xiaofan who was a level lower than him. The speed of the black ball was getting faster and faster. Finally, Xiaochen couldn't dodge it and it directly hit Xiao Chen's back. Xiao Chen's body trembled. A tearing and burning pain spread throughout his body in an instant, causing Xiao Chen to shiver. The next moment, he felt that his internal organs were also starting to be burned by this black ball. Xiao Chen quickly used the mantra to resist and repair. This black ball contains a lot of black qi. It won't dissipate for a while. Before it dissipates, it will devour your internal organs and body. Elder Heaven Ancestor's urgent voice came into Xiao Chen's ears. Chapter 282. Xiao Chen was shocked. He hurriedly sat cross-legged on the ground and circulated his mental cultivation method. However, he was extremely anxious in his heart. If old witch Xishan attacked him again at this moment, Xiao Chen would really be sent to heaven. Jia, little bastard, you're not dead yet? It seems that I've underestimated you. My disciple's death was not unjust. Old witch Xishan saw that Xiao Chen was not killed by his ultimate move. Instead, he was resisting it. He was surprised. But let's see what you'll do next. I wonder if you can resolve this move of mine. After saying that, old witch Xishan stretched out his palm. The black ball in his palm condensed again. When Xiao Chen saw this, he almost cried. Damn it, am I going to die here today? I didn't die even after being pushed off the cliff. Am I going to be killed by this old witch Xishan? Go to hell. Old witch Xishan's palm shook. The black ball suddenly smashed towards Xiao Chen's chest. Elder Heaven Ancestor. Xiao Chen didn't want to die. However, he couldn't move his body. He could only ask the Elder Heaven Ancestor in his heart. At the same time, his mind was quickly thinking about how to resolve this killer move. I can only try. I can't guarantee that I can take it. The Elder Heaven Ancestor's voice was a little solemn. Obviously, he wasn't very confident. After this, I may enter a coma again. When that time comes, I'm not sure when I'll wake up. In the future, you'll have to rely on yourself, Xiao Chen. Xiao Chen was stunned. He suddenly felt sad. Why did the words of the Elder Heaven Ancestor sound like he was going to the execution ground? However, at this critical moment, a woman's voice suddenly rang out. So it's here. Along with the voice, a black shadow quickly appeared in front of Xiao Chen. With a wave of his hand, a bright red ribbon flew towards the black ball that was smashing towards Xiao Chen. Boom! With a loud bang, the red ribbon hit the black balloon. The two made a huge explosion in the air, but the red ribbon only trembled a few times, while the black balloon disappeared. What a strong woman! Xiao Chen heaved a sigh of relief. He had almost died. Fortunately, this woman had appeared in time. Xiao Chen could only see her back. The woman's back was facing him. Xiao Chen could only see her exquisite and beautiful figure, but he didn't know what she looked like. Although he didn't see her, he didn't have any impression of this woman in Xiao Chen's memory. Whether it was her voice or figure, Xiao Chen wasn't familiar with them. From the looks of it, it should be someone he didn't know. Who are you? Old Witch of West Mountain looked at the woman who had suddenly appeared in front of him with shock and vigilance. Deputy Team Leader of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau's Team C, the woman in black said lightly. What? Someone from the Supernatural Investigation Bureau? You actually discovered me? Old Witch of West Mountain was stunned. He didn't expect the Supernatural Investigation Bureau to be able to discover him. Recently, a fugitive from the Warrior Guild came to Songning City. The higher-up sent me to investigate. The woman in black was talking about Brother Heifeng. She continued, but just before, I received a report that you appeared in Songning City, so I started to look for evil energy. If you didn't fight with others, I really wouldn't be able to discover you. But I didn't expect you to come here without disguising yourself. You're really arrogant. Damn it, it's you. Old Witch of West Mountain's eyes flashed with a touch of hatred. Good, very good. You're just a warrior who has just advanced to Stage 8 Inner Force. It's not difficult to kill you. Let me kill you first, you meddlesome person. It's useless to say more. Old Witch of West Mountain, you've done all kinds of bad things. At this moment, please accept the punishment of justice. After the woman in black finished speaking, she took the lead and shot out the red ribbon. Her target was Old Witch of West Mountain's glabella. Humph, it's just a small trick. Old Witch of West Mountain was very angry. He was obviously on the verge of going berserk. Originally, he came to find White Fox for revenge. Who would have thought that he would be reported? He could even guess that it must have been Zhang Tianhao who reported him. Only he could know about the Supernatural Investigation Bureau and his whereabouts. However, these were secondary. The important thing was that the people from the Supernatural Investigation Bureau happened to be in Songning City. Otherwise, if it were any other situation, he would have escaped long ago when the people from the Supernatural Investigation Bureau arrived. It would have been impossible to bump into them. Bad luck. So, he was furious. Old Monster Shishan wasn't careless either. Facing a martial artist of the level of the black-clothed woman, he directly used his strongest move. He opened his mouth, and with a few whooshing sounds, he spat out several black blood swords that went straight towards the black-clothed woman. The woman in black did not dodge. It was as if she did not care about the blood swords at all. Instead, she shot out the red ribbon and intertwined with the black blood swords. Not good. The woman in black's heart sank. She saw that the black blood swords were corroding the ribbon of the woman in black at an amazing speed. The woman in black had to throw away the ribbon in her hand because the blood swords were corroding bit by bit. Soon, they would touch the woman in black's hand. Hee, now do you know how powerful I am? Don't think that you are a Stage 8 Inner Force warrior. When I became famous, you were also a piece of trash. Old Witch of West Mountain sneered and looked at the woman in black proudly. The woman in black dodged and looked at Old Witch of West Mountain coldly. You have some skills. No wonder you haven't been executed after being wanted for so many years. It's too late to know. Go to hell. After destroying the woman in black's red ribbon, Old Witch of West Mountain sneered. Then, he shook his palm again. A black balloon jumped out and smashed towards the woman in black. Dodge it. Xiao Chen was shocked. He was very clear about the damage that the black balloon would cause if it exploded on his body. If it hit the woman in black, he was afraid that it would be terrible. It wasn't that Xiao Chen sympathized with her. Xiao Chen didn't even know what she looked like, and it was his first time meeting her. Of course, he wouldn't sympathize with her. The main problem was that she was now Xiao Chen's only hope. If Xiao Chen didn't have this black-clothed woman to help him fight back while he was recuperating here, then he might very well die here today. No, I can't let anything happen to the woman in black. If something happens to her, then Xiao Chen will die. The woman in black's reaction was also fast. However, after losing her weapon, she didn't dare to fight the black balloon head-on. However, the same situation as Xiao Chen previously appeared. She was running in front while the black balloon chased behind her. Although the woman in black's dodging skills were better than Xiao Chen's, she was still tired of dealing with it. You're quite agile. It seems that your skills in bed aren't bad either. Old Witch of West Mountain laughed evilly. He flipped his hand again and a black balloon shot out from his palm, smashing towards the woman in black. This black balloon was aimed at the woman in black from the front. This time, the two black balloons formed a pincer attack, making it impossible for the woman in black to dodge. Whoosh! The woman in black's qing gong made Xiao Chen exclaim in admiration. Under such circumstances, she was still able to move her body to the side and avoid the pursuit of the two black balloons. A trace of anxiety flashed in the woman's eyes. Evil cultivators were indeed more difficult to deal with than normal martial cultivators. However, she was alone. She was here to investigate Brother Heifeng and didn't expect to have a combat mission. This was only a temporary mission, so it was difficult for her to deal with it without the support of her companions. However, controlling two black balloons was obviously Old Witch of West Mountain's limit. He didn't activate the third black balloon. Instead, he waved both his hands and directed the two black balloons to chase after the woman in black again. The woman in black could also see that controlling the two black balloons required a lot of physical strength and true qi. Old Witch of West Mountain was also going all out. At this time, if someone could sneak attack Old Witch of West Mountain, it was very likely that Old Witch of West Mountain would go to hell. However, she glanced at Xiao Chen, who was healing on the ground. It was obvious that Xiao Chen couldn't even protect himself, let alone sneak attack Old Witch of West Mountain. If the sneak attack failed and Old Witch of West Mountain directed one of the black balloons to blow him up, then this person would be finished. Although in most cases, martial artists were indifferent and the life and death of others had nothing to do with them, Song Huawu was different. She was a member of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. She couldn't harm the lives of ordinary martial artists. If she encountered a martial artist who was injured or in danger, she would also lend a helping hand. This was also the responsibility of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau, so she couldn't let Xiao Chen be cannon fodder. Song Huawu's eyes flashed with anxiety again as she dodged the two black balloons with great difficulty. Although her strength was above Old Witch of West Mountain, Old Witch of West Mountain's moves were extremely powerful, making up for the difference in strength between the two of them. Be careful. Seeing that the two black balloons were about to explode the woman in black into a sandwich, Xiao Chen couldn't help but exclaim again. Song Huawu was also shocked at this moment. Old Witch of West Mountain was not a kind person. During the process of her dodging, he found the pattern of her dodging. The two black balloons once again turned into a pincer attack, directly attacking her. This time, they came from a different position. In other words, she had nowhere to hide. No matter if she went left or right, she would inevitably be swept by one of the black balloons. As long as one black balloon succeeded, the other one would follow. In this way, Song Huawu had nowhere to hide. You go and kill him. Xiao Chen clenched his teeth and suddenly stood up. He abruptly pressed the woman in black's body down, causing her to lie flat on the ground. Xiao Chen, on the other hand, stood at her original position. Next, an amazing scene appeared. The two black balloons exploded towards Xiao Chen's body one after another. Boom! With a loud bang, the two black balloons exploded on Xiao Chen's body. Xiao Chen spat out a mouthful of blood and his whole body directly collapsed to the ground. Fortunately, Xiao Chen had been circulating the heaven-stolen fortune battle art, so he was able to hang on to his last breath and didn't die directly. Chapter 283. After falling to the ground, Xiao Chen hurriedly gritted his teeth and continued to circulate the mantra to use his essence energy to heal his injuries. I can't die, I absolutely can't die. I have to hold on, I have to hold on. Song Huawu was slightly taken aback when she was pushed by Xiao Chen. She never expected that Xiao Chen would use such a method to save her and create an opportunity for her to kill Old Demon Xishan. Old Demon Xishan had been controlling two black balloons previously, so his stamina was almost exhausted. It was impossible for him to condense another black balloon in a short period of time. Therefore, taking advantage of this gap, Song Huawu flew out and punched Old Demon Xishan's forehead. B***TCH, you're courting death. Old Demon Xishan was alarmed and wanted to dodge, but he never expected that Song Huawu's fist was actually a feint. The real killing move was hidden in Song Huawu's right leg. Song Huawu's right leg kicked out and directly kicked old demon Xishan's lower abdomen. Her beautiful and sturdy calf hooked and spread, sending old demon Xishan flying with a ouch. Dance leg was Song Huawu's ultimate move. Just like the red ribbon from before, it was only suitable for melee attacks. Song Huawu's moves were very beautiful, as though she was dancing. Xiao Chen had to praise her. This girl's figure and dance moves were really good, but he wondered what she looked like. Song Huawu was wearing a mask, so he couldn't see her face clearly. However, Xiao Chen didn't want to know. All he wanted now was to live. Xiao Chen heaved a sigh of relief when he saw old demon Xishan being sent flying with a kick. He circulated his mental cultivation method with all his might, but he felt that his yuan qi was insufficient. The surrounding heaven and earth spiritual energy was just too weak. With the current situation, it was very difficult for him to recover from his injuries. However, he couldn't delay his injuries because the black balloon had yet to be completely dissolved. It was still devouring Xiao Chen's flesh and blood. Xiao Chen had no choice but to constantly circulate the mantra to resist. You broke my ribbon and dared to scold me. You even dared to hit me with a black balloon. I'll stomp you to death. Stomp, 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 stomp. What happened next shocked Xiao Chen. Song Huawu caught up to old goblin Xishan, who was sent flying, and began to stomp on his body crazily. Xiao Chen was speechless. It seemed that he could offend anyone but a woman. This old demon of West Mountain was too unlucky. In the end, he was trampled to death. How painful. Old demon Xishan foamed at the mouth and his eyes bulged, but he couldn't speak. He was obviously very unwilling, but there was nothing he could do. He died with everlasting regret. Xiao Chen did not have the mood to study whether old Fei Xishan had died in pain or not. He only felt that his essence qi and the surrounding heaven and earth spiritual qi were insufficient. The black ball was still devouring. What should he do? Suddenly, Xiao Chen thought of the ancient jade he had won in the race today. Thinking of this, Xiao Chen quickly took out the 2 pieces of ancient jade from his pocket and held them in his palm. In the next moment, a majestic wave of heaven and earth spiritual qi surged from the ancient jade into Xiao Chen's body. The abundant energy made Xiao Chen moan in comfort. It was like a person who was dying of thirst in the desert suddenly had enough drinking water. The mental cultivation method circulated rapidly. Under the resistance of Xiao Chen's powerful essence qi, the black ball instantly turned into nothingness. As for Xiao Chen, his injuries were also rapidly recovering. After Song Huawu trampled old goblin Xishan to death, she suddenly remembered that there was a warrior who had helped her block the 2 black balls. Oh my god, I almost forgot about him. Thinking of Xiao Chen, Song Huawu hurriedly threw away old goblin Xishan's corpse and turned to run to Xiao Chen. However, when she saw Xiao Chen sitting cross-legged on the ground, she was immediately puzzled. You didn't die? Song Huawu's eyes widened. He was hit by 2 black balls and yet he didn't die. What kind of strength did this guy have? She definitely couldn't do it. However, if Xiao Chen's strength was higher than hers, why was he forced into such a sorry state by old goblin Xishan? He should have killed old goblin Xishan long ago, right? However, after saying that, Song Huawu felt that it was inappropriate. It was as if he shouldn't have died, so she quickly asked, "Are you all right?" Xiao Chen was circulating the mental cultivation method with all his strength at the moment. He couldn't speak at all. When he heard Song Huawu's question, he just shook his head. Oh, you took a pill and are healing your injuries, right? Song Huawu thought that Xiao Chen had taken a pill and was trying his best to dissolve it to heal his injuries. Generally speaking, be it a martial cultivator or a demonic cultivator, she had never heard of anyone who could heal themselves unless they took a pill. There were some heretic cultivators who had the ability to heal themselves, but Xiao Chen was obviously not a heretic cultivator. He didn't have any evil aura on him. Moreover, if he was a heretic cultivator, it was impossible for him to fight with old goblin Xiaofan. Xiaochen nodded and continued to circulate the mental cultivation method with all his strength. Then I will help you guard. Song Huawu also nodded and then stood beside Xiaochen. From afar, the sound of footsteps came, which surprised Xiaochen. Listening to the strength of the footsteps, the people who came should be martial artists. Many of the martial artists in Songning City had heard of or seen Xiaochen. Xiaochen didn't want to expose his strength. Who is fighting in front? Why is there an evil aura? I am the inspector of the Songning Martial Artist Guild. The person in front, quickly report your name. There were 3 people in this group, and the leader actually had the strength of a Stage 8 inner force martial artist. Supernatural Investigation Bureau Team C Deputy Team Leader Song Huawu. Song Huawu was afraid to disturb Xiaochen, so she quickly walked over and stopped them. This is my ID. The Supernatural Investigation Bureau is handling a case. It's okay, you can go back. So it's Team Leader Song, sorry for not recognizing you. The person looked at Song Huawu's ID, cupped his fists, and did not say much. He turned around and left with his people. Fortunately, Xiaochen's back was facing them, so they didn't pay much attention. The Martial Artist Guild Stage 8 Inner Force martial artists probably knew Xiaochen, the good-for-nothing from the Xiao family. Fortunately, they didn't see him. Soon, Song Huawu returned and continued to guard by Xiaochen's side. With the help of the spiritual jade, Xiaochen's injuries recovered quickly. When all the injuries were healed, suddenly, Xiaochen felt the opportunity to break through the barrier. However, Xiaochen suddenly hesitated. This woman in black was from the Supernatural Investigation Bureau, and he was a cultivator. She might not have felt anything when he secretly circulated the mental cultivation method to heal his injuries, but if he wanted to break through, the surrounding spiritual energy would probably be mobilized. What if she found anything strange at that time? However, Xiaochen was not willing to give up just like that. One must know that this opportunity was not easy to come by, and it was fleeting. If he missed this opportunity, there would be no more. If he didn't break through now, then he didn't know how long he would have to wait to break through later. To break through or not to break through? After hesitating for a moment, Xiaochen clenched his teeth. He decided to break through. After all, he had waited for this opportunity for too long. If he had the strength of a level 5 refinement stage cultivator, would he have been beaten so badly by old witch Xishan today? Obviously not. After making up his mind, Xiaochen continued to circulate the mental cultivation method. Suddenly, he felt a burning sensation from the point of contact between his palm and the ancient jade to the rest of his body. Finally, it gathered at Xiaochen's lower abdomen and suddenly erupted out of control. The intense burning sensation spread throughout his body in an instant. This sudden inhuman pain almost made Xiaochen cry out. However, with his strong willpower, Xiaochen managed to endure it. The burning sensation in his lower abdomen transformed into violent yuan qi and circulated throughout Xiaochen's body. After about the time it took for a stick of incense to burn, the violent qi gradually became gentle and slowly transformed into Xiaochen's own yuan qi. A large amount of heaven and earth spiritual qi also gathered around Xiaochen's body. After a short period of peace, Xiaochen felt as if his whole body had exploded, like a flood bursting out of a dam. At this moment, Xiaochen let out a long sigh of relief. According to his past experience, he had successfully broken through. At this moment, he was already a level 5 refinement stage cultivator. Seeing Xiaochen slowly open his eyes, Song Huawu asked with some curiosity, Are you alright? You seem to have broken through just now. Why is there a lot of aura that seems to be like spiritual qi gathering around you? Are you a devil cultivator? Or? Before asking others, shouldn't you first introduce yourself? Xiaochen didn't answer, but asked indifferently. Oh, I'm sorry. Song Huawu said, My name is Song Huawu, the Deputy Team C of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. I came to Songning City to investigate the cause of Brother Haifeng's death and how he appeared in Songning City. Brother Haifeng? I don't know him. Xiaofan shook his head. I'm just a rogue cultivator. Am I considered a devil cultivator? Or maybe a martial cultivator? I'm not sure about the specifics. I'm just a rogue cultivator. Can you keep it a secret for me? Keep it a secret? Song Huawu was slightly stunned and then said, no problem. If you don't want to reveal your identity, I won't reveal it for you. Some martial artists, for various reasons, did not want others to pay attention to and know about them. Song Huawu was not surprised. Alright, thank you for saving me today. I can't thank you enough. I'll take my leave first. Xiaofan nodded. He and Song Huawu had only met by chance, and he did not want to have a deep relationship with her. The Supernatural Investigation Bureau's power was comparable to the Warrior Guild, and it was even an official organization. It might be helpful in finding his father. However, Xiaofan did not know who Song Huawu was. Of course, even if he knew, she might not help him. Therefore, Xiaofan did not say much. Wait. Although I promised to keep it a secret for you, you said that you're a devil cultivator? Song Huawu looked at Xiaofan. Do you have any contact with other devil cultivator disciples? Do I look like someone who would contact others? I even asked you to keep it a secret for me. Xiaofan said, I don't want to get involved in these disputes. I just went to the Warrior Guild to accept a mission and got into trouble with such a devil cultivator. I usually keep a low profile. Chapter 284. Forget it. It's nothing. You can go. Song Huawu nodded. I didn't save you today, but you saved me. It's considered a mutual rescue. You don't have to owe me any favors. Okay. Xiaofan was stunned. He didn't expect Song Huawu to say this. This chick is really interesting. I can owe her a favor, but she refused. He looked at Song Huawu up and down. This woman's figure seems to be quite good. Her pair of slender legs is even more charming. It's just that her face is covered. I don't know what she looks like. However, this was probably the first and last time Xiaofan and her met, because Xiaofan didn't think that he would have any interaction with her in the future. After getting in the car, Xiaofan quickly started the car and left, leaving Song Huawu alone to clean up the body of Old Witch of Xishan. Song Huawu said to herself, I don't know what will happen in Songning. Two important figures of the demon sect appeared here, and there is also a demon sect rogue cultivator. Is it really just a coincidence? Although the disciples of the demon sect did not harm people like the evil cultivators, they had always been a relatively special group. They were ostracized by some famous sections. Although on the surface, the two forces coexisted peacefully, in private, there were still fighting summits. Every time there was a competition at the summit, there would be innocent disciples dying. The Supernatural Investigation Bureau wanted to stop it, but they couldn't. This kind of private thing was repeatedly prohibited. Now two important figures of the demon sect appeared in Songning City. Is there a summit being held here? Or, am I thinking too much? She was going to report to the higher-ups after returning. After all, this was not a small matter. The identities of these two were very special. Once something went wrong, it would be a catastrophe for the underworld. The few forces behind them would never let it go, especially one of them. His identity was a bit sensitive. Song Huawu had a headache thinking of this. She originally came to investigate Brother Haifeng's matter. She didn't expect so many follow-up troubles. After taking away Old Witch of Xishan's corpse, the place returned to its previous tranquility. After Xiaofan got in the car and drove for a distance, he dialed Zhang Tianhao's number. No matter what, Zhang Tianhao was still a good person. Xiaochen wanted to dispel his worries. Hello. Zhang Tianhao carefully picked up the phone because he didn't know who was calling. Was it White Fox or Witch Xishan, who had already won? Zhang Tianhao, it's me. Xishan old monster is dead. You don't have to worry, Xiaochen said lightly. Dead? Zhang Tianhao was stunned. After confirming that it was indeed the White Fox's voice, he was overjoyed. I knew that the White Fox hero is the most powerful. What's the big deal about the West Mountain Demon? Kill him. During this period of time, Zhang Tianhao had been very depressed. Every day, he was on tenterhooks. Now that the witch of Xishan was dead, he was relieved. You informed the Supernatural Investigation Bureau, right? Thank you. If it wasn't for the help of the people over there, it wouldn't have been easy for me to kill Witch Xishan alone, Xiaochen said. It's nothing. It's good that he's dead. Zhang Tianhao said, White Fox hero, I will personally go to Songning City and treat you to a meal. That's not necessary. I'll hang up first. I need to drive, Xiaochen said. Okay. White Fox hero, keep in touch. Zhang Tianhao said. After hanging up the phone, Xiaochen drove back to the direction of the villa area. On the way, Xiaochen suddenly thought of the problem of medicinal herbs, so he asked the Elder Heaven Ancestor, Elder Heaven Ancestor, I am now a Qi Refinement Stage Level 5 cultivator. Should I change my medicine? Don't change it for now. Drink again tonight and consolidate your strength. Don't practice today. Your strength level was forcibly broken through in battle, so your foundation is not very stable. It's better to consolidate it, the Elder Heaven Ancestor said. Okay. Xiaochen nodded. What happened today was a fluke. If it wasn't for Song Huawu's help, he would have died. However, at the critical moment, he actually broke through to the Qi Refinement Stage Level 5, which really surprised him. However, if it weren't for the 2 pieces of ancient jade, Xiaochen wouldn't have been able to break through so quickly. When he took out the 2 pieces of ancient jade, Xiaochen noticed that the color of the smaller piece of ancient jade had already become extremely dim. The situation was that all the energy in the spiritual jade had been absorbed by Xiaochen. It had even been absorbed from the inner core to the outside. Otherwise, the first thing to be absorbed would be the spiritual qi inside the spiritual jade. It would not be obvious from the outside. Only when the spiritual qi was almost completely absorbed would it be revealed from the outside. It would probably not take long for the jade pendant to shatter into powder and become useless. I used up a spirit jade so quickly. Xiaochen suddenly felt a little regretful. If he remembered correctly, this smaller spirit jade contained the strongest energy. Otherwise, Xiaochen wouldn't have let him add another spirit jade as a bet. Originally, Xiaochen wanted to make good use of this spirit jade, but in the end, it was used up. Fortunately, he had broken through. If he hadn't, it would be a little troublesome. Your smaller spirit jade is not bad. It's not much different from your previous jade pendant, but it seems to be more difficult to get. The voice of the Elder Heaven Ancestor sounded, it seems that it's not easy to get spirit jades in the secular world. But in my opinion, since these people can get it, they must have some way to get it. Think of another way. This kind of good quality spirit jade is not bad. I know it's not bad, but I also need some way to get it. If I look for spirit jades with great fanfare, I will definitely be suspected by others. God knows if there are other cultivators. Xiaochen said. I can't do anything about this. After all, so many years have passed. What I see and what I know are not the same. For the time being, I can't help you in Songning City. If your strength is higher, I can tell you a place where you can go and get some of the treasures I hid in the past. The Elder Heaven Ancestor said, if I remember correctly, there should be spirit jades in there. Oh? Treasures? Where is it? Xiaofan asked with some excitement. Oh, it's very far. Moreover, with your strength, you can't even open the first-level restriction. Going there is no use. The elder heaven ancestor poured cold water on him. All right. Oh right, what special ability does a cultivator in the 5th level have? Xiaofan was more concerned about this question. The special ability of a cultivator in the 5th level of the refinement stage. Look at it yourself. Why do you always ask me? The elder heaven ancestor said. Xiaofan quickly looked at the special ability of a cultivator in the 5th level of the refinement stage in his mind. It was the extension of illusion. It could change one's appearance for a short period of time, but not for too long because it would consume one's energy. Once the energy was exhausted, one would revert to their original appearance. This ability was somewhat useful for Xiaofan, but it wasn't very useful. At most, he could change his appearance when he wasn't wearing the white fox mask or when the mask was taken off. As for other uses, Xiaofan hadn't figured them out yet. However, it should be useful at a critical moment. After driving the car back to the villa area, Xiaofan returned home. However, Xiaofan's embarrassed look stunned Cheng Menjing and Jean Beibei. What's wrong with you? Did you encounter a fire or? Looking at Xiaofan, whose shirt was burnt black and most of it had turned into ashes, Cheng Menjing asked in confusion. It's nothing. I was somehow implicated, Xiaofan said. Anyway, many people want to kill me today. Cheng Menjing nodded and didn't ask any more. It was true that many people wanted to kill Xiaofan today. Even if she asked, she wouldn't get any answers. I'm going back to my room to take a shower, Xiaofan said. I'll come out to cook later. After returning to his room, Xiaofan boiled the medicinal herbs in the electric clay pot and then went to take a hot shower. Xiaofan hadn't tested the strength of the 5th level of the qi refinement stage yet. However, he needed to consolidate it first. Song Huawu returned to her temporary residence in Songning City. The Supernatural Investigation Bureau had a public house in every city. Song Huawu was currently living here temporarily. The corpse of the old witch of Xishan had been sent back to the headquarters through her channel. At this moment, Song Huawu was reporting to her boss, the leader of Team C, Yang Jiannan. Xiao Wu, you did a good job. The old witch of Xishan is a demonic cultivator wanted by the Supernatural Investigation Bureau for a long time. It wasn't easy for you to capture him today. Don't worry, I'll ask for credit for you. Yang Jiannan said, as for the matter of the demonic sect that you mentioned, it can be a big or small matter. I suggest you stay in Songning City for a while. It's best to investigate their purpose. Okay, I understand. Song Huawu nodded. Xiao Wu, if it's boring for you to be alone, I'll see if I can apply to accompany you. Yang Jiannan said softly. No need, team leader Yang. This isn't a big case. I can handle it alone. Song Huawu said indifferently. Okay, Xiao Wu. Girls shouldn't be too strong-willed. If you encounter any difficulties, tell me. I'll be there as soon as possible. Yang Jiannan said. Thank you, team leader Yang. Song Huawu replied. I told you to call me Brother Nan in private. You don't have to be so polite. Yang Jiannan said. Song Huawu's eyes flashed with a trace of helplessness. She said indifferently, it's work now. Hee, okay. Take care of yourself. Yang Jiannan laughed. After hanging up the phone, Song Huawu frowned slightly. Yang Jiannan's pursuit of her was no secret in Team C. Even the other teams knew about it. Many people thought that Song Huawu was promoted because of Yang Jiannan. In fact, that was not the case. Song Huawu was also capable. It was just that Yang Jiannan often claimed to be Song Huawu's boyfriend. This made Song Huawu feel helpless, but also made others believe it. After all, the more people said it, the more people would believe it. Song Huawu didn't like to explain these things. The more she explained, the more unclear it would be. Chapter 285. Song Huawu didn't like Yang Jiannan. She always felt that Yang Jiannan wasn't masculine at all. His personality was very feminine. Although his strength was there, Song Huawu didn't like this type. However, in terms of work, it was inevitable that the two of them would often come into contact. One was the team leader, and the other was the deputy team leader. It was impossible to avoid them. Therefore, Song Huawu could only constantly ask for missions. This time, she stayed in Songning City for this reason. If she went back, Yang Jiannan's attentiveness every day would be unbearable. Yang Jiannan hung up the phone, and a trace of femininity flashed in his eyes. He snorted, B*TCH, you rejected me again and again. But it's okay. I have patience. Sooner or later, I'll take you down. For the past 2 days, Yu Xiaochuan had been hanging out with Xiaosu. Not only did he constantly have sex with Xiaosu, but he also transferred Xiaosu's blood into his body. Then, he used his mental cultivation to dissolve and fuse it into his body. However, what made Red Hair's hair stand on end was that Yu Xiaochuan's actions seemed to be more and more effeminate. His voice also became shrill. Although he was still a man, and he could still sleep with Xiaosu, Red Hair still felt that something was wrong. However, Red Hair didn't dare to speak carelessly. Who knew what kind of mystical martial arts Yu Xiaochuan was practicing? In order to live a few more days, he didn't dare to ask about these confidential things. Of course, a person's change was usually undetectable by oneself. This was the saying, the onlooker sees the game more clearly. Red Hair saw everything clearly. However, Yu Xiaochuan didn't feel that there was anything wrong with him. He was still hanging out with Xiaosu. On Tang Tang's side, although Yu Xiaochuan really wanted to take her into his arms, there was still a more important matter at hand. If he mastered the Chrysanthemum treasure book, he would be able to dominate the world. What made Yu Xiaochuan happy was that after Xiaosu's blood fused with his, he could even slowly use the mantra of the first level of the Chrysanthemum treasure book. Although it wasn't particularly smooth, he believed that as long as he continued doing this, he could smoothly cultivate the Chrysanthemum treasure book. Therefore, these few days, Yu Xiaochuan was very happy. He even forgot about Tang Tang and Xiao Chen. Today, when he thought about Tang Tang, he gave old Master Tang a call. Xiaochuan, why did you call an old man like me? Tang Fangbai and Yu Xiaochuan had reached an agreement in private, so Tang Fangbai's attitude towards Yu Xiaochuan became polite. He already treated Yu Xiaochuan as his grandson-in-law. Grandpa Tang, I have good news for you. That mysterious Yin woman is still very effective. I can already barely circulate the first layer of the Chrysanthemum treasure book. Yu Xiaochuan said, how's the progress on your side? I've only just familiarized myself with the first level of the mantra. I didn't expect it to be so effective. Tang Fangbai immediately regretted his impatience. Yeah. Yu Xiaochuan said, I think we should hurry up on Tang Tang's side. Let her go back to the Tang family and wait for her marriage. Don't always hang out with Xiao Chen. It's not good if any rumors are spread. She doesn't have to go to school anymore. She can drop out of school. Anyway, she's a woman. It's good to stay at home to take care of her husband and children. This was the purpose of Yu Xiaochuan's call. Okay, I'll arrange it. Tang Fangbai nodded. I'll send someone to pick up Tang Tang in a while. In fact, I'm also afraid that the matter of your cultivation will be exposed. If that happens, I might be implicated. The fewer people who know about this matter, the better. I understand. That's why I chose Tang Tang. In fact, I can also choose other people, but Tang Tang can keep it a secret for us. Yu Xiaochuan said. I'll arrange it. You two should get engaged as soon as possible, and then you can move to the Tang family. That way, you and I can also learn from each other. Tang Fangbai said. Okay, the engagement must be done as soon as possible, but I'll think about moving over, Yu Xiaochuan said. However, Yu Xiaochuan also had to say that Tang Fangbai's suggestion was good. He didn't tell the Yu family about his cultivation of the chrysanthemum treasure book. All of this was carried out by him in private. Although the Yu family was a little puzzled by Yu Xiaochuan's draft, they didn't interfere too much. Old Master Yu had already begun to support Yu Xiaochuan's promotion, so as long as Yu Xiaochuan didn't do anything too out of line, he wouldn't interfere. As for the draft, it could at least increase the company's reputation, and it didn't cost much, so he didn't care too much. Therefore, Yu Xiaochuan didn't know whether his family would support his cultivation. Although cultivating the chrysanthemum treasure book might shock the world, the Yu family had always been a righteous family. If Old Master Yu really couldn't think of anything to stop him, then Yu Xiaochuan really couldn't do anything. After thinking about it, Yu Xiaochuan planned to act first and report later. When he had the strength, then everything would be easy. Tang didn't expect that the Tang family would come so quickly. She had just closed the stall and returned to her temporary residence when the Tang family came. Miss Tang, the old master asked me to pick you up. The person who came was Old Master Tang's trusted butler, Old Master Zheng. Tang naturally knew this person. This person had already served the Tang family when Tang was born. Going back so soon? Tang was a little surprised. She didn't expect her grandfather to send someone to pick her up. Although she had expected it, she didn't expect it to be so soon. It seemed that Yu Xiaochuan was putting pressure on them. No matter how hard Xiaochuan tried to stop him, it was not as important as a word from the Tang family. Tang didn't want to go back, but she knew that she had to go back. With her grandfather's character, if she refused, he would force her to go back. This is the old master's order. Old Master Zheng said, "Please understand, Miss Tang. This old servant is also acting according to the master's order. I'll pack up." Tang sighed, "Can I make a phone call?" The old master didn't say no. Old Master Zheng said. He was an old-fashioned person, so if there was, then there was. If there wasn't, then there wasn't. Tang nodded and dialed Xiao Chen's number. She had to tell Xiao Chen that she was going to leave. Tomorrow morning, she couldn't go to the morning market to sell fried dough sticks. This morning was the last time for the two of them. Perhaps, the two of them would meet again in the future, but at that time, things would be different. Tang was already married. Between her and Xiao Chen, they were really just ordinary friends, or at most brothers. Tang. Xiao Chen received a call from Tang after taking a shower. "It's me. I have to go. My family is coming to pick me up." Tang's voice was indescribably lonely, with deep helplessness, but there was no way. What? So soon? Xiao Chen was shocked. He didn't expect Yu Xiaochuan to make a move after all. Did he not care about the photos? As he was thinking about these things, Xiao Chen's cell phone prompted that there was a new call from SIM card 2. Xiao Chen glanced at it. It was actually a call from Yu Xiaochuan, but he didn't care about it. "Well, take care." Tang took a deep breath. "I think it's more suitable for you and Sister Lin to be together. Miss Cheng is not very suitable for you. I have a sense of propriety, but you." There was an indescribable feeling of sorrow in Xiao Chen's heart. He couldn't explain it clearly. He was reluctant to part with her, but it was not justified. It's nothing. Anyway, I accepted it in the past. It's just that I have a free life for a while. Speaking of it, it's still profitable. Tang had always been so optimistic. Some things can be delayed. Xiao Chen said, "On my side." In fact, it won't be long before I have the qualifications to talk to the Tang family. Well, I believe you. Tang Tang smiled. But did she really believe it? She didn't know Xiao Chen's strength. She was different from Shen Jingxian. In her understanding, Xiao Chen was an ordinary person. She said so just for her own fantasy. Miss Tang, the head of the family asked me to take you back immediately. Please pay attention to the time. Elder Zheng saw that Tang Tang had been on the phone, so he said. Help me tell Zheng Xiaokuan that I may not be able to go to school tomorrow. Tang Tang knew that girls would not go to school until they were officially engaged at home. After the engagement, they would not go to school again. Okay. Xiao Chen was unspeakably sad in his heart. Well, that's enough. I'm hanging up. Tang Tang smiled. Cheer up. I'm not going to die. I'm just going to get engaged. After hanging up the phone, Tang Tang silently began to pack up her things. Xiao Chen took a deep breath and called Yu Xiaochuan. What's the matter? Xiao Chen's attitude was very bad. Hero White Fox, I'm young Master Kun. Yu Xiaochuan was stunned. He didn't expect this white fox to be so rude. I know. Why are you calling? If you have a fart, just say it. If not, I'll hang up. Xiao Chen said. Hero White Fox, I want to ask you. I won't kill Xiao Chen, but can you help me secretly delete the photos in Xiao Chen's mobile phone, and then find if there is a computer or camera in his house, and then delete all the data in it? Yu Xiaochuan wanted to solve this matter once and for all, so he thought of White Fox. Oh, sure. Delete the phone for 10 million, go to his house for 20 million, a total of 30 million. Xiao Chen said. So much? Yu Xiaochuan was stunned. He didn't expect White Fox to be so greedy. He asked for 30 million. Can it be less? Then you find someone else. Xiao Chen said directly. Don't. Yu Xiaochuan couldn't find someone else. The fewer people who knew about this, the better. Yu Xiaochuan had worked with White Fox several times. He felt that this person's credibility was good. If he found someone else, he might not necessarily have a relationship with Xiao Chen. If Xiao Chen noticed it in advance and backed up 3 or 5 copies on the network hard disk, then Yu Xiaochuan really wanted to cry but had no tears. Chapter 286. Anything else? Xiao Chen asked. Okay. 30 million, right? I'll call you. Yu Xiaochuan said, but how can you prove that you deleted it? I'll go to Xiao Chen's room and secretly take a few photos of you and send them to him, Xiao Chen said. Okay. Yu Xiaochuan didn't suspect anything this time and nodded. Idiot. Xiao Chen hung up the phone and cursed. Then, he went to cook for the young mistress and the others. When Xiao Chen went out, the young mistress and Jean Beibei weren't in the living room. Obviously, they went upstairs. In the kitchen, Yi Xiaoye was there. Seeing Xiao Chen, Yi Xiaoye said, Xiao Chen, where did you buy those vegetables? Where did I buy them? Xiao Chen was slightly stunned. In the agricultural store at the entrance of the neighborhood. That can't be right. I went to buy them just now, but they were different from the ones you bought before. They didn't taste good. Yi Xiaoye said, are you lying to me? Why would I lie to you about this? Although Xiao Chen knew it, he didn't know whether to laugh or cry. I don't need to lie to you. Maybe every batch of goods is different. Maybe. Yi Xiaoye could only believe it. After all, she was also puzzled. Xiao Chen wouldn't lie to her because it was meaningless to lie to her. Did you buy this celery? Why didn't you eat it? Xiao Chen saw a bag of celery by the stove and asked. I bought it. I wanted to stir-fry it, but I found it didn't taste good when I stir-fried noodles, so I didn't have the mood to stir-fry celery. Yi Xiaoya said, if you want it, you can have it. This celery is good. It seems to be the same as the batch I bought before. Maybe this celery is delicious. Xiao Chen said. Really? Yi Xiaoya was stunned and didn't believe it. I'll give you some when I'm done. Have a taste, Xiao Chen said. Okay. Yi Xiaoya nodded, but she still felt that it was unlikely. There were some leftover ingredients and some celery on Yi Xiaoya's side. Xiao Chen quickly made a few light side dishes and gave some to Yi Xiaoya. Have a taste? There's no need to taste it. I can tell from the fragrance that this celery is from yesterday's batch. Yi Xiaoya was a little depressed and said, this batch of ingredients is very delicious. I don't know where they got them. Today's is different. Maybe it's specially supplied to 5-star hotels, and the surplus is sold to agricultural stores, but this situation can't happen every day. Xiao Chen said. You know quite a lot. Yi Xiaoya ate the fried noodles while eating the stir-fried celery. She found the fried noodles extremely disgusting. By the way, how's my dog? You didn't kill it and eat its meat, did you? Xiao Chen suddenly remembered that he hadn't seen his super invincible dog in the universe for a few days, so he asked. No, I gave it an elixir and it fell asleep. It hasn't woken up yet. Yi Xiaoya said apologetically, but don't worry. It should be fine. Its body condition is normal. That's good. Xiao Chen was a little speechless. But he would let her do whatever she wanted. It would be fine as long as she didn't kill it. Young mistress and Jean Bebe went downstairs, and Yi Xiaoya went upstairs. She didn't get along well with Jean Bebe, and they might quarrel downstairs. However, Yi Xiaoya was no match for Jean Bebe, so she had to stay away. Boring. She ran away as soon as she saw Bebe. Jean Bebe squinted at the gloomy Yi Xiaoya and chuckled. All right, Bebe. If she doesn't provoke us, just let her be. Cheng Menjing wasn't a person who liked to cause trouble. Since Yi Xiaoya had retreated, she didn't have the intention to kill her. Oh, I'm hungry. I didn't have enough for lunch, Jean Bebe said. We ate in the afternoon. It's only been a few hours. Cheng Menjing glared at her. How can you eat so much? Cousin-in-law, you're hungry too, right? Jean Bebe asked. Hee, it's all right, Xiao Chen said. Menjing, you should eat less too. This meal is rather light. Okay. Cheng Menjing sat down. She realized that she was losing her resistance to the delicacies made by Xiao Chen. She didn't want to eat at first, but she couldn't help but move her chopsticks when she smelled the aroma of the food. It's delicious. The celery is delicious. Cousin-in-law, you should eat. Jean Bebe said. Yes, yes. It's delicious. Let's eat together. Xiao Chen nodded. He realized that it was fun to be silly with Jean Bebe sometimes. Hey, it's my birthday the day after tomorrow. I'll hold a birthday party at the Cheng family. You'll be my attendant. Cheng Menjing said as she looked at Xiao Chen, who was enjoying the food. Oh? Birthday party? Xiao Chen was stunned. Your birthday? I'm so angry. You don't even know my birthday. How did you become a fiancé before? Cheng Menjing was enraged by Xiao Chen's words. Xiao Chen didn't take her seriously at all. I'm just stunned. You've never invited me to your birthday parties before. Xiao Chen said with a bitter smile. Don't you have legs if I don't invite you? Why did you show up at Shen Jingshuan's birthday party? Cheng Menjing glared at Xiao Chen fiercely. I'll be your attendant. Okay. Don't worry. I'll be a good attendant. Xiao Chen changed the topic. Humph. Cheng Menjing didn't want to dwell on this issue because it would only make her angrier. However, Xiaochen didn't say anything. In fact, he was thinking in his heart. This was the first time he showed up in public since he was kicked out of the Xiao family. Was it a blessing or a curse? However, it was okay to see the real attitude of the Cheng family toward him. Xiaochen knew all the descendants of the aristocratic families. After he was kicked out of the Xiao family, they contacted each other more or less frequently. Therefore, Xiaochen didn't have any scruples or fears. Anyway, as long as he did his part, there was nothing to make things difficult for him. The most important thing was that Xiaochen wanted to see if there was any problem with the Cheng family. It was reasonable to say that Cheng Zhongqian of the Cheng family also disappeared with his father. Therefore, the suspicion of the Cheng family was undoubtedly the least. However, there was a saying that often the least suspicious was the most suspicious. Xiaochen didn't know why he had this idea. Anyway, there was no harm in looking more. From the several incidents that targeted him in succession, it could be seen that Chao Yuliang was a fool who jumped to the front desk. He had to cooperate with Li Shanning to deal with me. What ability does he have? Xiaochen really didn't think that he had the ability to make my father disappear. If he really had this ability, I would have disappeared because of him. He couldn't be defeated again and again. Therefore, for such a person, Xiaochen had basically lost interest in continuing to investigate him. The reason why he was still in contact with him was that this fool often sent him money. As for the person behind Chao Yuliang, Xiaochen didn't want to ask. At least, first, Xiaochen didn't want to expose himself for the time being. Second, if he completely broke up with him, then he wouldn't have money in the future. Without money, without medicine, there would be enemies who would send him to the front. It was a very good thing to use the enemy to grow step by step. Hey, what are you thinking about? Cheng Menjing saw that Xiaochen lowered his head and didn't speak, so she asked. Nothing. This birthday party, Chao Yuliang and the others will also go, right? Xiaochen asked. They should go. Jing Xian will bring Chen Jinpeng, then Chao Yuliang will naturally go as well. Of course, I just don't know how many people from each family will go. Cheng Menjing said. Master? Xiaochen was slightly stunned. Will my second uncle Xiao Hai go? I heard that the Cheng family and the Xiao family proposed marriage. Will Xiao go? Poor Qi Zhigao. Yes. Right, Uncle Xiao Hai should also go. Cheng Menjing said, my grandpa sent him an invitation. Xiaochen nodded. Sometimes, he had to face what he had to face. It was impossible to say that he was not worried about his family's affairs these days. Although he was puzzled and annoyed by the fact that his family had chased him out, it had already faded away these days. In fact, if he didn't get kicked out of his family, how could Xiaochen have his current strength and fortuitous encounters? The so-called loss must have a gain. It was a blessing in disguise. As for the Xiao family's original approach, Xiaochen could understand it more and more. In the end, it was also a kind of protection. At that time, Cheng Menjing's father also acquiesced to this point. The Xiao family was weak. If the Xiao family was stronger than the Cheng family, then the one who would be kicked out of the family might be the Missy, not him. The Xiao family was declining. Only after Xiaochen left the Xiao family did he deeply feel the misery of the Xiao family. Other families, although there was no lack of people like Chen Erbai, Idiot Chao, and Yu Kaizi, but if Xiaochen didn't have his current strength, if he wasn't a cultivator, then he would be a piece of trash that they could play with. I know. Xiaochen nodded. The night after tomorrow, after school, are we going directly from school? Yes, you drive, we will go directly. Cheng Menjing said. Then do I need to prepare any gifts? Asked Xiaochen. Think about it yourself. Cheng Menjing snorted. But you didn't pay me a salary. I don't have money. said Xiao Chen. You cheated so much money. Did you eat it? Asked Cheng Menjing. Ugh. Yeah, I bought medicine and ate it. Xiao Chen nodded. How did you know? Go to hell. Cheng Menjing didn't believe that Xiao Chen was telling the truth. She thought he was talking nonsense. How could medicine be so expensive? In the evening, Xiao Chen took the potion. After training, he clearly felt that his strength had been stabilized. He was now a cultivator at the 5th level of the Qi refinement stage. At this moment, his strength was equivalent to the strength of a martial artist at the 6th level of the inner force. His other abilities were even more difficult for a martial artist to match. After consolidating his strength, Xiao Chen took a few photos of his room for Yu Xiaochuan, then took a few photos at the door of the villa and sent them to him. After seeing the photos, Yu Xiaochuan was overjoyed. Chapter 287. Yu Xiaochuan did not expect the White Fox swordsman to be so helpful. The mission that he had assigned to him was completed on the same night. This made Yu Xiaochuan very happy to transfer 30 million yuan to the White Fox swordsman's account in the Warriors Guild. For the time being, Xiao Chen was not short of money. What he lacked was spiritual jades. Of course, this was also under the premise that the price of medicinal materials did not rise. If the price of medicinal materials continued to rise, he would enter a state of bankruptcy sooner or later. After all this was done, Xiao Chen lay on the bed and logged into the Warrior Guild's client. He found Yi Bia and sent her a private message. The witch of Xishan appeared and stopped me on the road. But with the help of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau, he was successfully dealt with. Yi Xiaoya's message came back after a while. White Fox, are you crazy? Why are you sending me a message in the middle of the night? But then, Yi Xiaoya's message came back. What? The witch of Xishan came. The Supernatural Investigation Bureau is here too? Who is it? Well, her name is Song Huawu, but she seems to be investigating a person called Brother He Feng. This person was also on the task commission list, but he was later killed and turned in the task. Xiao Chen said. Song Huawu? It's her. She is a little biased against evil cultivators. You'd better not pay attention to her. Yi Xiaoye reminded him. Okay. Xiao Chen said. It was estimated that he would not see her for the rest of his life. I'm going to sleep. Talk to you another day. Yi Xiaoye was sleepy. Oh, you won't tell me that you are going to sleep and then turn around to chat with my idol, will you? Xiao Chen said. Pfft. You are crazy. You are already an evil cultivator. Why are you still so bored? Yi Xiaoye sent a skull emoji. At 3:00 in the morning, Xiao Chen subconsciously wanted to get up and go to the morning market to sell breakfast. However, when he was dressed and ready to go out, Xiao Chen laughed at himself. Tang Tang had already left him. He would never appear in the morning market street again. The days when they sold fried dough sticks together in the morning market street could only be a beautiful memory. When Xiao Chen had just been driven out of the family and was at his most helpless and confused, this life in the morning market street occupied Xiao Chen's life. Every time he thought about it, Xiao Chen felt especially warm. But those days were gone forever. The next morning, Xiao Chen didn't go to the morning market again. Instead, he prepared breakfast for his mistress and Jean Bebe. After dawn, Yi Xiaoye came out to water the flower bed outside the villa and take care of her flowers and plants. Xiao Chen finally couldn't help but ask, Yi Xiaoye, what are you planting? Medicinal herbs? Yes. Yi Xiaoye nodded and said, some medicinal herbs are too expensive and difficult to buy, so I planted some myself. Oh, are you also a warrior? Are you an evil cultivator or a martial cultivator? Xiao Chen asked. Why do you ask this? Yi Xiaoye glanced at Xiao Chen and ignored him, saying, let's talk about it when you can cultivate yourself. Don't you feel tired living off a woman all the time? Xiao Chen was a little helpless. He just chatted with her casually, but the topic of living off a woman came back again. When the mistress went downstairs, she saw that Xiao Chen was also at home. She was a little surprised, asking, "Xiao Chen, why didn't you go to the morning market street?" Tang Tang went back to the Tang family. Xiao Chen sighed helplessly, saying, "I guess she won't come to school again." She already went back. After listening, Cheng Menjing became a little silent. She sympathized with Tang Tang because she used to be like this. She was afraid that one day, she would suddenly be called back by her family and told that she had to marry Xiao Chen. But now, Cheng Menjing was still afraid of being called back by her family. She was afraid that her family would marry her to another stranger, or to Chao Yuliang. At this time, Cheng Menjing thought that it was better to marry Xiao Chen. Well, sometimes, some things are involuntary. Xiao Chen sighed and said, "I won't go to the morning market street in the future." "Isn't Kerlin also at the morning market street?" Cheng Menjing asked, "Don't you go to find your little lover?" "There's nothing between me and her." Xiao Chen shook his head. "Well, let's eat. I'm done." Oh. Seeing that Xiao Chen wasn't in a good mood, Cheng Menjing didn't say anything more. For the whole day, Xiao Chen wasn't in a good mood. Although he knew that there would be such a day, who would have thought that this day would come so soon, Yu Xiaochuan once again completed the blood transfusion. After refining the blood with the mantra, according to the advice in the notes, he should have intercourse with Xiaosu at this time. But Yu Xiaochuan suddenly found that he seemed to have no interest in Xiaosu at all. In fact, before this, he found that he had no interest in Xiaosu. Intercourse before the blood transfusion was just a routine. Could it be that he was tired of playing with Xiaosu? But no, even if he was tired, he had to continue playing. In order to practice the Chrysanthemum Treasure Book, Yu Xiaochuan must continue playing until he vomited. "Young Master Kun, why do you seem to have no interest in me? Are you tired of playing with me, and don't want me anymore?" With Yu Xiaochuan, it was hard for Xiaosu to get any satisfaction. Every day, she would secretly look for Redhead to have an affair. But maintaining her relationship with Yu Xiaochuan was her way of earning money. So she had to control Yu Xiaochuan. Otherwise, Yu Xiaochuan would throw her away after using her. Although he could give her some money, it wouldn't last long. How much money could a redhead have? Xiaosu originally didn't have such big ambitions, but after a few days with Yu Xiaochuan, this kind of upper-class life made her unable to extricate herself. "Don't think too much. I'm a little tired these few days. Come, let's do it again." Yu Xiaochuan patted Xiaosu, motioning for her to come to the bed. "Young Master Kun, I'm coming. Today, I just learned a different trick on the internet. Let's try it together," Xiaosu said. "Okay." Yu Xiaochuan nodded, but he realized that he didn't seem to be interested in any tricks at all. If it was in the past, he would definitely be in a hurry to try it out. But now, he took his time to undress. Xiaosu tried her best, but she still realized that Yu Xiaochuan was very cold towards her. This made Xiaosu feel very sad. She felt that her good days were coming to an end. Although it was more enjoyable with Redhead, Redhead wasn't as rich as Yu Xiaochuan. And Yu Xiaochuan also felt that it was time for him to change up his taste. Was it because he was a little tired from being with Xiaosu every day? Otherwise, his fighting strength wouldn't be so low. Even if he couldn't be called a man who could do it 7 times a night, he could still do it 5 times a night. Now, doing it twice a day wasn't very good. After barely finishing it with Xiaosu, Xiaosu walked out with a face of satisfaction and left unsatisfied. Yu Xiaochuan called Redhead in. This made Xiaosu even more dissatisfied. She was just about to find Redhead to do it again, but she was called over by Yu Xiaochuan. This made her very depressed. "Young Master Kun, you were looking for me?" Redhead was originally going to find a place to do Xiaosu. Normally, after Yu Xiaochuan was done, he would definitely rest for a while. But in reality, Yu Xiaochuan was practicing his mantra. Yu Xiaochuan looked at Redhead's bulging crotch. He didn't know why, but he suddenly felt desire again. How was this possible? Yu Xiaochuan shook his head. He thought it was ridiculous. It must be that Xiaosu was tired of playing and didn't satisfy himself. That's why he's like this, Yu Xiaochuan thought. Help me find 2 young models. Hurry, Yu Xiaochuan said. Okay, I'll go now. Redhead nodded. Although he wanted to find Xiaosu as soon as possible, he couldn't ignore Yu Xiaochuan's orders. So he found his phone book and called a pimp manager. He picked up 2 young models for Yu Xiaochuan, and then he went to the agreed location to pick them up. Very soon, the young models arrived. But Yu Xiaochuan tragically realized that he wasn't interested in them at all. When he saw them, it was as if he saw his brothers. He couldn't even compare to Xiaosu. At least, Yu Xiaochuan could still force himself to have sex with Xiaosu because it was for cultivation. But no matter what he did with these 2 young models, Yu Xiaochuan didn't have any reaction. Helpless, Yu Xiaochuan could only give them some money to send them away. But it wasn't a waste. Since he had already found them, he gave them the money anyway. In the end, this made Xiaosu even more depressed. With the young models that Yu Xiaochuan rewarded, Redhead naturally threw Xiaosu aside. On Monday morning, Xiaochun drove the Land Rover to school with Missy and Jean Bebe. The rich Jean Bebe's car had not been repaired, so Missy and Jean Bebe could only hitch a ride with Xiaochun. Luckily, Xiaochun was free today and didn't need to go to the morning street. Now, there was no need to hide the relationship between Xiaochun and Cheng Menjing. Anyway, Lu Zhenming knew it. Yu Xiaochuan and other members of his family also knew Xiaochun's identity, so Xiaochun didn't need to hide anything. At the school gate, Missy and Jean Bebe got out of the car first. Xiaochun drove to the parking lot and encountered Yu Xiaochuan's Audi A8L. Yesterday, Yu Xiaochuan could manage to have sex with Xiaosu, but this morning, he couldn't do it at all. Yu Xiaochuan transfused his blood gloomily and then came to school for a walk. He suspected that the pressure of practicing the chrysanthemum book was too great, and he was too eager for quick success, so his body rejected it. Therefore, Yu Xiaochuan came to school for a walk. Seeing Xiaochun, Yu Xiaochuan suddenly remembered that White Fox had finished the task yesterday, so he was in a good mood. He walked to Xiaochun with a smile. Xiaochun, where are your photos? Let me have a look. I'll give you the money after I'm sure. I don't know what happened to the photos, but they are all gone. Did you find a hacker to delete them? Xiaochun said gloomily. Deleted them? Then I'm sorry, I can't give you the money. Yu Xiaochuan was overjoyed. White Fox was really awesome. However, he suddenly felt that it was not a big deal. At this moment, he didn't seem to care about it too much. What was going on? Chapter 288. You don't want to treat Tang Tang anymore? Are you going to let her give up the treatment and return to her previous appearance? Asked Xiaochun. Yu Xiaochuan wanted to say something, but he suddenly had a feeling that whether Tang Tang looked good or not, whether she was fat or not, had little to do with him. What is this situation? Yu Xiaochuan was a little confused. I don't like Tang Tang anymore. Do you agree or not? Xiaochun frowned. If you haven't thought about it, come to me when you have thought it through. Xiaochun, you are so domineering. Yu Xiaochuan suddenly said with a sharp voice, so stylish. What? Xiaochun looked at Yu Xiaochuan in amazement. Your brain is attacked by a virus? What nonsense are you talking about? Nothing. Let me think about it. Yu Xiaochuan sweated. Why did I suddenly say such a sentence? What's wrong with me? It must be because of the continuous practice and Xiaosu in the past few days. I didn't have a good rest and was a little insane. Whatever. Xiao Chen shook his head and turned away. Today, this Yu Xiaochuan seems to be weird. Is he stimulated by something? Xiao Chen looked at Yu Xiaochuan's back and frowned. Why do I feel that Yu Xiaochuan is a little crazy? Is there a problem with practicing the chrysanthemum treasure book? When he came to the class and looked at the empty seat, Xiao Chen's mood became unprecedentedly heavy. This seat no longer belonged to Tang Tang. Maybe in a few days, there would be a new desk mate sitting here. Hey! Tang Tang didn't come with you? Zheng Xiaokuan saw Xiao Chen and didn't see Tang Tang. He asked with some surprise. Tang Tang went back to the Tang family. She won't come again. Xiao Chen sighed. She asked me to tell you that it will be difficult to see you again. She went back. So soon. Zheng Xiaokuan was a little surprised and helpless at the same time. He also liked Tang Tang, but he also knew that it was impossible for him and Tang Tang to be together. He thought that Tang Tang would be with Xiao Chen, but now it seemed that everything was destined. Tang Tang's appearance was restored, and what followed was Yu Xiaochuan's engagement. Zheng Xiaokuan was unable to change these things, and Xiao Chen was even more powerless. He patted Xiao Chen's shoulder and said, "Forget it. We are brothers in hardship. Yu Xiaochuan is really shameless." Xiao Chen nodded. There were some things that he couldn't say to Zheng Xiaokuan. After all, the Zheng family was no longer one of the 9 great families. Xiao Chen didn't want him to get too involved and affect the Zheng family. Early this morning, at the entrance of Songning No. 2 High School, Director Su walked quickly to the side of a small Buick SUV. The principal had already informed him that a big shot was going to transfer to No. 2 High School. He asked Director Su to welcome her and help her with the enrollment procedures. Although Director Su didn't know which family's child it was, with such a big show, could it be a relative of the school director's family? But since the principal had ordered, he still appeared here as soon as possible. Sure enough, he saw the Buick with the license plate number Song SSSS 55. It was rare to see a license plate with 3 letters at the beginning and 3 S's, especially when the first regional letter was also S, and it became 4 S's, which was even rarer. If it weren't for the big shot that the principal had instructed, he would even think that it was a fake license plate. In fact, this kind of license plate was only issued to some very special departments and institutions. It was normal that ordinary people didn't recognize it. For example, the Warrior Guild and the Warrior Market Square also had license plates beginning with Song S, but there wouldn't be so many S's. However, one thing was certain. Director Su knew that the person in the car beginning with Song S was likely to be a martial artist. This was because he had seen this kind of license plate in several ancient martial arts families. Of course, only a private school director like him, who was funded by the Shen family, would recognize it. Others wouldn't. When the girls saw Director Su staring at her license plate, she slapped her forehead and remembered that she had forgotten to change it. She didn't drive the car into the school. Instead, she got out of the car, took out another license plate from the trunk, and changed it nimbly, as if she did this kind of thing often. In an instant, her license plate number became Song TRR 313, which was a very common license plate number. Director Su, who was standing at the side, was a little stunned, but he didn't panic. Instead, he waited quietly for the girl to finish her work before saying, "Are you Miss Song? The principal asked me to pick you up." "Hello, Director Su." The girl nodded, took out a stack of documents from her bag, and handed it to Director Su. "This is my enrollment file, thank you." "Oh, okay." Director Su saw that the girl didn't want to say more, so he didn't ask any more. He took the documents and glanced at it. "The principal said that Miss Song wants to go to grade 12 class 1, right? Would you like to follow me now?" "Director Su, just call me Song Huawu. I'm your student now, so don't call me Miss Song. I'm not used to it. The girl smiled at Director Su. So, she was actually Song Huawu. However, what was surprising was that Song Huawu didn't wear a mask today. Her delicate face didn't have any makeup on, and her hair was casually combed at the back, just like a middle school student. If one didn't know about her feat that night, no one would think that she was actually a martial artist with Inner Force Stage 8. Okay, Song Huawu. Director Su nodded. Then park the car, I'll take you to grade 3 class 1. Thank you, Director Su. Song Huawu jumped into the car and drove it to the parking lot. Then, she followed Director Su into the teaching building. Although Song Huawu was very beautiful, she didn't attract too much attention, especially in grade 12. Everyone was busy with their morning studies, and no one would look around in the corridor. Director Su took Song Huawu all the way to the entrance of grade 12 class 1. He nodded to the homeroom teacher, Miss Wang, who was presiding over the morning self-study session, and then personally sent Song Huawu into the classroom. He coughed twice and said, "Everyone, pay attention. I'll introduce a new classmate to you. I hope that everyone can help each other in the future. Alright, student Song Huawu, introduce yourself. Please welcome her with a round of applause." No one noticed Song Huawu before, but no one could ignore her in the class. Isn't she a goddess? In an instant, the boys in the class were excited. However, Xiaofan was stunned. How could it be her? There was no shortage of goddesses in the class. Cheng Menjing, Jin Beibei, and Tang Tang were all goddesses. However, Cheng Menjing was Lu Xinming's target, and Jin Beibei was the little witch that even Lu Xinming was afraid of. Therefore, they were not fated to be with each other. As for Tang Tang, the news that Yu Xiaochuan had resumed his engagement as soon as she became a goddess came out. The boys in the class couldn't touch these goddesses. As for this transfer student, she definitely had the potential to become a goddess as famous as Cheng Menjing, Jin Beibei, and Tang Tang. Warm applause burst out at that moment. Hello, everyone. My name is Song Huawu, Huawu from the Huawu world. Nice to meet you. Song Huawu smiled and said to her classmates. Boss, this Song Huawu is also quite pretty. The one who spoke was the skinny monkey, he said to Lu Xinming. So what? It seems that this Song Huawu doesn't have a powerful background. Cheng Menjing is more suitable for me. Lu Xinming said, I have no interest in playing now. I pursued Cheng Menjing to revitalize the Cheng family. When I become the son-in-law of the Cheng family, the Lu family will get whatever they want in the future. Boss, your realm is really high. You're different. Then. I'll do it. Thin Monkey said with a wretched look. To be honest, he had planned to pursue Tang Tang before. However, he gave up after learning that the real identity of the beautiful girl was Tang Tang. She was the rival of Xiao Chen and Yu Xiaochuan. It had nothing to do with him. It's up to you. But you have to investigate her background first. Don't do anything reckless, Lu Xinming reminded him. I know. Don't worry, Brother Ming. I won't do anything reckless. Thin Monkey rubbed his hands and looked eager. Song Huawu, you sit. Miss Wang was about to arrange a seat for the new student, but at this time, Director Su said, just sit next to Xiao Chen. Tang Tang has dropped out of school and won't come to school in the future. That seat is empty. Oh. Well, Song Huawu, you sit next to Xiao Chen. Miss Wang nodded. Since Director Su had arranged it, she naturally would not object. In fact, Director Su also wondered why the principal even told Song Huawu's seat this time, but he still did as he was told. Okay. Song Huawu smiled and nodded. Then she walked to Xiao Chen's seat. Because Director Su had pointed out that there was an empty seat next to Xiao Chen in that direction, no one felt anything wrong when Song Huawu walked over. However, Xiaochen frowned. He had felt that something was amiss earlier. Song Huawu? Wasn't she the deputy leader of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau that I met the night before yesterday? But at that time, Song Huawu was masked and wearing a small black windbreaker, which was not the same as her current appearance. So, Xiaochen initially wondered if it was a coincidence. After all, it was difficult for Xiaochen to associate the girl dressed like a student in front of him with a Stage 8 Inner Force warrior and the person who killed the Witch of Xishan. However, after listening to her voice, Xiaochen began to have some doubts. Looking at her figure, it was quite similar. Now that she actually wanted to sit next to him, Xiaochen suddenly understood that things were not that simple. This girl, maybe she came for him. Otherwise, why would she sit next to him? But what was there for her to pay attention to? She even gave up her position as the deputy leader of Group C and came to be a student and be his desk mate? If she had no purpose, Xiaochen would not believe it. Chapter 289. F***CK. The thin monkey-like guy was very unhappy. She's sitting next to Xiaochen again. Xiaochen is really lucky, isn't he? Tang Tang just left, and here comes Song Huawu. Not only the thin monkey-like guy was envious, but all the boys in the class also looked at Song Huawu sitting next to Xiaochen with envious eyes. Well, I won't disturb your class. After completing the task, Director Su didn't need to stay here anymore. He nodded to Miss Wang and turned to leave. Don't pay attention to the new student. Let's start the class now. At this time, the bell rang, and Miss Wang began the class. Xiaochen, we meet again. Song Huawu, who had just sat down, didn't wait for Xiaochen to speak. She turned her head, lowered her voice, and said faintly. Xiaochen patted his forehead. Sure enough, she came for him. This made Xiaochen feel a little helpless. Song Huawu, what do you mean? Did I provoke you? Not only did you investigate me, but you also came to my school. Those who don't know might think that I did something to you, and you're looking for a father for your child. If you don't want to be beaten, keep your mouth shut. Song Huawu glared at Xiaochen and said, Don't think that I don't know who you are. You're from the Xiao family in Songning, the useless young master of the Xiao family. I guess everyone doesn't know that he's a demonic cultivator, and he has the strength of a demonic cultivator at the 6th stage of internal strength. Well, what do you want? Xiaochen suddenly lost his temper and looked at Song Huawu helplessly. To be honest, Song Huawu's threat really threatened him. Not bad? Song Huawu smiled proudly. Now tell me, where did you get the strength of a demonic cultivator? It stands to reason that the Xiao family in Songning is not a righteous sect, but it has nothing to do with the demonic sections. You're actually a demonic cultivator? I had a fortuitous encounter. There's an awesome soul in my body that's teaching me cultivation, Xiaochen said with a shrug. Your soul is called Jiao Yazi, and you're cultivating the art of dragon mastery. You've been watching too many TV shows, haven't you? Song Huawu said angrily, if you don't want to say it, then forget it. I won't force you. However, you must have a connection with the Devil Gate. Don't think that I don't know that there is a person named Yi Xiaoya in your family. As for you, your other identity is White Fox. You have completed a few missions in the Warrior Guild. Your partner is Yi Xiaoya. Will you still say that you have nothing to do with the demon sect? Holy shit. Xiaochen stared at Song Huawu in shock. She was asking him to silence her. Who was this girl? How did he know so much? However, Xiaochen was just thinking about it. He was still unable to defeat Song Huawu. Don't look at me like that. If I hadn't seen your true face, I wouldn't have suspected so much. Song Huawu said, the report I received that day was that the Witch of Xishan wanted to kill Zhang Tianhao's benefactor, White Fox, who helped him complete the mission. I happened to see you fighting with the witch of Xishan, so I knew your identity. Others don't know. So that's how it is. I thought I exposed myself somewhere. Xiao Chen was relieved after hearing that. Song Huawu knew about this purely by chance. He didn't have time to wear a mask that day. Then will you keep it a secret for me? It depends on how cooperative you are. Song Huawu said, I suspect that the people of the demonic sects gathered in Songning City to hold a summit battle with the people of the righteous sections. The responsibility of our Supernatural Investigation Bureau is to avoid large-scale fights between the demonic sects and the righteous sections. Therefore, even if it's a summit battle, we have to control it within a controllable range. Once it gets out of control, it will be a bloodbath in the underworld. What does this have to do with me? Xiao Chen looked at Yi Xiaoya in confusion. I'm AF * King Hidden Demonic Cultivator. Others don't know about it, and no one wants to challenge me. You are familiar with Yi Xiaoya. You can inform me immediately if anything happens to her. You don't need to do anything else. Song Huawu said, how about it? Do you agree? What's the benefit if I agree? What's the harm if I don't agree? Xiao Chen asked after pondering for a moment. If you agree, we will be considered friends. If you want to join the Supernatural Investigation Bureau in the future, I can introduce you. Song Huawu said, it's fine if you don't agree. I can't kill people at will, although I will publicize your matter. Xiao Chen was a little speechless. You are threatening me. No, you are the one who asked me. Song Huawu said, if you choose to agree, then there will be nothing else. Besides, do you know how good it is to join the Supernatural Investigation Bureau? This is a symbol of a martial artist's identity, just like the people in the Warrior Guild and the Hong Chamber of Commerce. If ordinary people know your identity, they won't dare to provoke you easily. Those who can provoke me are special people, such as Old Monster Xishan. He doesn't care about your identity at all. Xiao Chen smiled bitterly. This is true. Song Huawu had to admit, however, protecting the peace of the underworld is the ideal and ambition of our Supernatural Investigation Bureau's martial artists. This is a noble job. I'm sorry, I don't have that leisure. My father is missing, and many people are targeting me. My wife is about to be snatched away by others. I don't have such lofty ideals for the time being. Xiao Chen said. I can apply for the Supernatural Investigation Bureau to help you investigate your father's disappearance. Someone is targeting you. After you join, you won't be alone. You will have teammates to help you. As for your wife, I can't help you with this matter. Song Huawu said, why don't you change your target? Change my target? Change yours? Xiao Chen asked. You can change, but I don't care if you can achieve this goal, Song Huawu said. You are forcing me to cooperate. Then, I will entrust my father's matter to you. Xiao Chen thought about it. Anyway, there was no harm in this matter. It might even be beneficial. At least, he could ask the Supernatural Investigation Bureau to help investigate his father's matter. Actually, in Xiao Chen's eyes, the Supernatural Investigation Department was a high and mighty mysterious existence. In his opinion, it would be good enough if the Xiao clan could come into contact with the Warrior Guild at most. As for the Supernatural Investigation Department, they had no relations with these aristocratic families at all. In other words, the structure of the Songning 9 families was not in the eyes of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. Now, Xiao Chen didn't expect that he could still establish contact with the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. If he had their help, there might really be news about his father. Okay, for now, you are a non-staff member of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau's Team C. After you have made contributions or passed the assessment, I will help you apply to become an official member. Song Huawu said, keep an eye on Yi Xiaoya. Now is your first task. Keep an eye on Yi Xiaoya. You have to give me detailed information about Yi Xiaoya, right? What is her identity? Xiao Chen was actually a little surprised that Yi Xiaoya could actually attract the attention of Song Huawu, the deputy leader of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau's Team C. It seemed that she was not as simple as a small character or a rogue cultivator. She was at least a disciple of a big demon sect, and should be a relatively core disciple. Otherwise, Song Huawu wouldn't have gone through so much trouble to find Xiao Chen to keep an eye on her. You don't know? Then you don't need to know for the time being. Song Huawu said, actually, you don't need to know anything. You just need to write down who Yi Xiaoya is in contact with, whether she has been out for a long time, or if there is any abnormal behavior. You don't need to do anything. Why does it feel like we are playing infernal affairs? She and I are teammates. Xiao Chen felt that it was not a good thing to do. We are teammates now, Song Huawu said. Song Huawu said, help me make up an excuse. Ask me to visit your house, and then I'll test Yi Xiaoya. Xiao Chen was a little speechless. I say, Deputy Leader Song, I am now living under someone else's roof. Can I still invite you to my house? What are you thinking? You think too highly of my status. That's why I asked you to make up an excuse. If you can make the decision, why would you need to make up an excuse? Song Huawu asked. Xiao Chen was depressed. Let me think about it. Cousin Menjing, your danger alert has just been lifted, and now it's orange alert again. Jean Bebe said. Look, the pretty girl who just transferred to our school is having a good time with my cousin-in-law again. Humph. What a fickle guy. Tang Tang has just left, and he is already having a good time with her. I really feel sorry for Tang Tang. Cheng Menjing glanced at Xiao Chen and snorted, somewhat annoyed. Yes, yes. That's why I suggest that cousin Menjing should talk to my cousin-in-law and let him know who his real fiancé is. Jean Bebe said. Who is it? Cheng Menjing asked. Cousin Menjing, you. Jean Bebe said. Nonsense. Cheng Menjing glared at Jean Bebe. What's the relationship between him and me? I think you are the one who is anxious, aren't you? Yes, I am anxious for cousin Menjing, too. Jean Bebe nodded, pretending to be serious. Cheng Menjing did not say anything else. In fact, Cheng Menjing did not think that Xiao Chen was such a lascivious and superficial man. Why was he having a good time with his new desk mate after Tang Tang left? Cheng Menjing found it hard to believe that Xiao Chen could be so open-minded. However, this was the truth. Cheng Menjing had no choice but to believe it. After the first class, Lu Jinming waved at Xiao Chen, hinting for Xiao Chen to go to him. Xiao Chen was slightly dazed. Lu Jinming had been quiet for a few days. What was he up to? Xiao Chen had been in low spirits because of Tang Tang's incident. Therefore, he had neglected the guy and even almost forgotten about him. What are you doing? Lu Jinming, can't you see that I am busy chatting with a pretty girl? Xiao Chen said. Ah. Lu Jinming was stunned. Chatting with a pretty girl? Did Xiao Chen fall in love with Song Huawu again? He came here this time to ask Xiao Chen what Cheng Menjing liked. You're tuning into the Xiaofan's Wuxia Tales YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.